Hello and welcome to the evening session of Day 3 of the IAF World Championships here in the Olympic Stadium in London. It's been a lovely day today, calm, sunny, a little bit of cloud, not especially warm, but ideal conditions for athletics, and we're going to look forward to a thrilling evening session. I'm Peter Matthews, and your TV commentary throughout the rest of the evening will come from Rob Walker, Steve Yvette, and Catherine Merry. And Catherine, I know we've got a lovely entertainment program to look forward to with 4 sets of medals.
We have indeed, in wonderful conditions as well, it has to be said. Beautiful conditions this morning for those 2 marathon races, and what cracking races they were. And look at that, a beautiful shot here in London. Yeah, first up, kicking off at 7 o'clock local time, will be the women's pole vault final. Olympic champion Ekaterina Stefanidi, the Greek athlete looking for a world title here. And also the men's shot put final. An action, of course, on the track. So let's have a look at the full schedule then of this evening session. Oh, nice shot from the warm-up track. So there we go then, the women's pole vault starting at 7 o'clock. Qualification A and B in the women's javelin throw. Kovacs here, Spatakova's here. The women's 100-meter semi-finals. The likes of Elaine Thompson, Daphne Schippers. The 400-meter semi-finals for men, Wade van Niekerk looking to continue his good form. And then all through the evening, the men's 110 hurdles, that men's shot put final as well is eagerly anticipated. And of course, the conclusion of the women's heptathlon and the men's 800 meters.
Well, a great schedule, that women's heptathlon. We've already had a couple of events early this morning, and Nafi Tiam, the Olympic champion, looks set to get a gold medal, unless anything goes wrong in the 800 meters, but real battle on for the silver medal behind her. And the evening ending with that women's 100 meters with Elaine Thompson, the great favorite for that event. Well, as I said, it's been a lovely day here in London today. Let's take a check on the conditions here. Certainly pretty windless in the stadium. And let's look out there. A bit cloudy, 19 degrees. It was 21 degrees earlier this morning when we started the marathons, so they had to run in that sort of conditions. But as I said, although it's not boiling hot, it is good conditions for athletics.
So looking ahead, those women's 100-meter semi-finals, that's the fastest woman in the world, Jamaica's Elaine Thompson. Looks really good, as you'd expect in qualifying. She'll go in the second semi-final. 3 semi-finals in total. So Elaine Thompson will once again do battle with Daphne Schippers of the Netherlands, the world 200-meter champion. Many battles now, Peter, with the likes of Elaine Thompson these two have had, and Daphne Schippers, well, she's first up in semi-final number 1, and Michelle Lee Ayi from Trinidad and Tobago.
Yes, plenty of competition. There's a Haro as well, and I wouldn't rule out, I'm sure you wouldn't either, Tori Bowie from the United States of America as in the major shake-up for the medals when we come to that 100 meters final. But I do see Elaine Thompson as being the clear favourite. There's a Hore, just referred to her, from the Ivory Coast. Look at that, a personal best now down at 10.78. That's not far off Thompson's 10.70, of course.
Well, if the conditions stay like this, which, as Peter alluded to, is pretty still here in the stadium, we should have some good times later.
Well, there were some surprises in the women's pole vault. For instance, Jen Suhr didn't make the event, but we do have a very clear favourite for that in the shape of Ekaterina Stefanidi. But she'll be challenged by Santee Morris, I'm quite sure. Anyone else you're looking forward to there?
How high she can jump. I've heard she's in super-duper form, Stefanidi. It is going to be a good competition. The men's qualifying, of course, was this morning, but Stefanidi, Morris, as you mentioned, Yaroslay Silva, the Cuban athlete as well. She's over 4 meters and 81 this season. So it's not a foregone conclusion for the Greek star, is it? But she is in wonderful form, and she has been all season.
Well, last year, Stefanidi and Morris were really vying for the credential of being the world #1, and I see no reason to oppose those as two of the major contenders here. But Stefanidi's so consistent, and she's certainly shown that she can deliver the goods on the big occasion, as she did in Rio, and as she'll be set to do here. But one of the great things about championship action, you do get upsets, you do get strange things happening, and you never quite know.
Well, there's one of the potential gold medalists as well, Santee Morris from the USA, just 1 centimetre behind Stefanidi in the world rankings, 4 meters and 84. So the American will be looking for some good vaulting, some good action in the women's pole vault final. They're out there warming up. All the poles are out there. They're one of probably the longest events to have a warm-up. Is that fair to say, Peter? They understandably take their time. They're out there a lot sooner than other athletes come out.
They are, and then they warm up, and then some of the top ones, like Stefanidi, won't enter the competition quite late on. So they could have an hour or two, which they just have to lie down and relax. And then it's quite difficult to get warmed up again in time for when you really start in the action. That's one of 2 field events finals that we have today, of course, the pole vault, and we're very eagerly awaiting the men's shot. We've got a terrific field in that. Three or four 22-meter men, and Ryan Krauser of the USA will be the favorite. He seems to be going over 22.50 all the time. Tom Walsh is improving. He set season's best in his last 2 competitions. Joe Kovacs had a little trouble in qualifying, but is there. And then there's the top Europeans like Stanek and Haratic. It's just about the best ever qualifying competition for an event, so we're looking forward to that. But before then, we're looking at Holly Bradshaw, who set a British record, one of her many, but most recently in the Manchester City Games at 4:81. And if she can repeat that sort of form, she's certainly in the shake-up for a medal.
Well, indeed, when she's fit, we know she's world-class. Constantly now getting in the world top 8, world top 6 at competitions. Before Holly, we saw Yaroslav Silva as well, the Cuban athlete. So a few medal ceremonies to come once the texting, social media has been completed by these guys. Usain Bolt, of course, will be coming out shortly to pick up the bronze medal he won last night in the 100 meters. We got the discus medals as well after that wonderful competition yesterday. He confirmed yesterday, though, Peter, he will compete in the heats of the 4x100 meter relay.
Well, that's sensible, because it's so much better to have exactly the same team throughout the rounds of a 4x1 in particular, isn't it? And you know, the Americans and Jamaicans have made some mistakes on that before, and they'll be very keen not to do that. No, he's obviously very keen on the social media, but then you're an expert on that, Kath, anyway, aren't you?
It's what us young people do, and I say young in inverted commas, Peter, being over 40.
Oh, I understand.
But he's waiting patiently to receive his last individual medal ever, of course, to add to the bulging collection that he has back in Jamaica. So those medal ceremonies are coming up shortly, and then before we know it, we'll be in the thick of the action. And the crowd, well, they've had a treat so far, haven't they? We've mentioned a couple of times in broadcast, it's the best-selling ever World Championships here in London, 700,000 tickets over the 10 days. And the crowd have had a treat so far, with more to come.
Yes, I'm sure they've all come and all enjoyed it immensely, and many of them maybe this is the first time they've been in the Olympic Stadium as well, and those who missed out in 2012, we're happy to make up for that. But of course, not only have the crowd had a treat, but so too have the athletes, the competitors, because they've had such wonderful support from the crowds throughout these competition days so far, and of course there's more to come.
Indeed. When the female pole vaulters were walking out just some 15-20 minutes ago, applause from the crowd, appreciation. They're seeing the best athletes in the world coming out to try and battle for the medals that are available. They're a knowledgeable bunch here in London.
Well, they are, and it's great how they're prepared to support even some of the top athletes who are up against their own particular favourites. And generally, they do give them terrific support throughout. And they follow all the events very keenly, particularly perhaps the field events, where they can follow over a series of hours. Well, we now have our first series of medal ceremonies, 4 events which took place yesterday. And of course this gives an opportunity for the athletes to be presented in front of a full crowd rather than the end of an evening when everyone else had slipped home. And it was really a changing of the guard in the men's discus, which this is. The former champions like Robert Harting and Piotr Malachowski finished outside the medals, and we see some new faces here, but some very distinguished competition indeed as well. Jeff Gardner from Australia, IF Council member, will make the presentation.
Presenting the medals, Jeff Gardner, IAAF Council member.
Yes, it was a very high standard indeed. The first time that I think 3 men have been over 68 meters in World Championship history for a very long time. Well, this man was a star in high school and now takes his first senior world medal. Mason Finley for the United States of America was the bronze medalist, setting a couple of personal bests. First over 68, then over 69 meters. 67, 68 meters, I should say. Now, this was the favourite, and he only just narrowly missed out as well. He certainly delivered the goods. This is Daniel Ståhl from Sweden, silver medalist at 69 meters 19. Terrific competition. He and the ultimate gold medalist led the qualifying, and then they led the final as well. Great year for Ståhl, who's been over 70 meters this season and now has the world silver medal. And the gold medal, his first major championship gold medal, Andrius Gudzius from Lithuania, following in the footsteps of the recently retired Virgilijus Alekna, and a wonderful competition, topped by a personal best at 69.21, just 2 centimeters ahead of Ståhl. Great competition, great throwing by Andrius Gudzius. So those are your medalists: Gudzius, Ståhl and Finley.
Mesdames et messieurs, l'hymne national de la Lituanie.
Ladies and gentlemen, the national anthem of Lithuania.
So just the second man to win a gold medal in World Championship history for Lithuania, following in the footsteps of Alekna, who won the discus twice a decade ago. So the mighty men meet on the top of the podium there now. Ståhl, Gudzius, Finley. A very high standard of competition in conditions that are not suitable maybe for a world record in the discus, but they got pretty close to that 70-meter line on each occasion. Three mighty men, all similar height.
Mesdames et messieurs, les médaillés mondiaux.
Once again, your world
So that concludes the medal ceremony for the men's discus.
Three familiar faces in the men's 100 metres, and the medals have been given Gatlin, Coleman and Bolt. And the chances are, Peter Matthews, they'll probably appear in a relay quartet, as we mentioned, Usain confirming the 4x1. But we'll see if they're bringing Gatlin, bringing Coleman. Got a strong squad.
Well, every expectation that the gold will be decided between the USA and Jamaica, unless there is another mishap in a heat and so on, which the Americans in particular have suffered in recent years. But again, they're back in domination, really, of the sprints, because that's the 9th time that USA have won the 100 metres gold in World Championship history. I don't think I've ever heard such a roar for a bronze medalist at any ceremony before. I don't think I've ever heard a roar last night that greeted this single presentation of one athlete, this man, the man who's transcended our sport.
It was a roar for his whole career, wasn't it? That World Junior title over 200 metres at the age of 15 when he ran 20.61 seconds. Wow, the career that followed was absolutely outstanding. And once again, the fans start the Usain Bolt chant.
Career not quite finished there with that relay to come. Well, that looks, looking back on last night. Now we start today's action, and the pole vault is the first.
Women's pole vault final just about to start on the 200-metre bend round there. There's the fantastic performance of Elaine Thompson's world record, 5:06. Well, I don't think we may not see anything near that today, but they might get close to the 5-metre mark. There we are. There's the lineup of the athletes in this. Newman, the Canadian record holder. McCarthy, 3rd in the Olympics. Rickson, 3rd in the European Championships. Morris, 2nd in the Olympics and 2nd in the World Championships. Stefani, the Olympic champion, well, she goes 6th place in the run-up. Newell of Canada. Going down through the rest of them. The world champion Silver, obviously there in the last place on the run-up. Number 12. So the normal fanfare before the start of a final.
Let's meet the 12 finalists.
Here we go, here's the 12 finalists. Alicia Newman, Canada, the Canadian record holder. Season's best of 4:71. The bronze medalist, Alicia McCarthy from New Zealand. 4:82 this year. Then from Sweden, Elliot Giles, 3rd in the European Championships. Santee Morris. Wow, what a performer she is. 2nd Olympics, 2nd in the World Championships, the American. Ekaterina Stefani, the Olympic champion. Moves aside. And then from Canada, Anika Newell. 2nd in their championships, but made it to the final here. They're competing for one of the neutral athletes, Olga Maluna. Well, this is it. The crowd will love this. Holly Bradshaw, 5th and 6th in Olympic finals. Can she do better here today? Lisa Rittstich, Germany, 3rd in the European indoors. In Switzerland, Nicola Bolcher, 4th in the World Indoor Championships. And we have Rinaldo of the Venezuela, the South American champion. And then finally, the reigning world champion, Silva of Cuba. So 12 of the vaulters will be just getting ready now, the last stages. They've been out there for some time, just preparing. A long time, actually. It's not very warm, I must admit, here in the stadium. So a lot of these women have got their tracksuit on until the last possible moment before they take it off and get ready. Wind, I don't think, is a big problem for the pole vaulters. Sometimes, if it's a crosswind, it can pull them away from the bar, or if it pushes them into the bar, it can be a major problem.
So as the women's pole vault final gets underway, also in the field, and we've talked about the men's shot put final later. We've got 2 qualification groups though in the women's javelin throw. This is qualification group A. 16 athletes are due to take part. So that starts in about 5 minutes' time. Qualification standard will be 63 meters and 50, or the best 12 performers that will advance to the final.
Well, pole vault's now underway, and the first on the runway, Alicia Newman of Canada. Opening vault here, high ground progression is at 4:30, the opening vault. So reasonably comfortable for these vaulters. Well, having said that, I hope I didn't put a curse on Alicia Newman. But it's probably easier for these athletes to get used to the conditions on their first vault. The wind is, as I said, just changing slightly down there at track side. Angelica Brickson coming in at that opening height of 4:30, just indicating that maybe a little bit of a problem with the runway. A lot of crowd noise too. I think it really distracts the vaulters. Dickinson, European bronze medalist in 2015 and in the indoors in 2016. Following well this so far. She's been 4th in Oslo and 2nd in Stockholm, so a lead into this competition has been pretty good. Still waiting, I think, for perhaps the wind just to die a little bit. They've just taken the cone away from the runway. Packed stadium here tonight, not a seat available. Really is been a fantastic turnout by the spectators for these championships, and I think the athletes have really appreciated it. I'm not sure why she's taking her time here, but she's not happy with something.
Well, she's looking infield, isn't she? So she's either waiting for the clock to be set so she can start, because normally athletes, when they look to their left, they are waiting for guidance from their coach to maybe tell them to go, because they're the kind of wind monitor.
Bergetson now coming through. The Swede, opening height 4:30. Oh! Wow. She was miles over it, really, but to look at the camera, it sometimes gives us a bird's eye view of that vault. I think she was well over. She's happy. I don't think she was disappointed, but she just caught it, I think, on her way back down from the apex of her vault. Look at that. Yeah, just caught it down. She had a massive clearance, really.
She can, of course, adjust the uprights if she wants to just move it in a bit if that's the problem she wants, or it may just be that her run-up wasn't quite as she'd normally expect. So Bengtsson going across to consult her coach there.
Meanwhile, Annika Newell, second in the Canadian Championship. She's taken, some of the athletes are missing out on these earlier heights, so we're skipping from one to another. Some of them, I think, not a bad idea to get an early vault in at the lower height, just to get used to the conditions and the atmosphere in the stadium. Annika Newell just talking to herself, going through the rehearsal of what she's got to do.
Well, Stefanidi, she's not due to enter this final until 4:65. Holly Bradshaw, 4:55. But some of these athletes, like you say, Steve, want to get a feel for the runway, get a mark on the board.
Well, we've seen sometimes some of the favourites coming in so late that they have a major disaster in the vault. So it's not a bad idea just to get, not a bad idea just to get an early vault in, just to see how you go. These girls have qualified, these women, I should say, have qualified for this vault. So for the final of the vault by jumping close to this height to start with. So there shouldn't be any problems really for most of these athletes. Obviously not very happy. You're just walking back, obviously have a chat to a coach like all the others and just decide what she's going to do.
Well, we've got some great track action to come. How about the world record holder, world champion and Olympic champion over 400 meters? Wade van Niekerk goes in the second of the 3 semi-finals over 400 meters in around about half an hour's time. That 400 final, if all the big men make it, including the youngster Fred Curley, who's now 7th on the all-time list. If all the main protagonists make it through to the final, that could be one of the races of the championship. Curley's run 43.7 this season. He has exploded onto the world stage. He's not the only world-class American, though. And it's not often that LaShawn Merritt gets overlooked in terms of the publicity. Curley has dominated the headlines in the States, but Merritt's a wily old campaigner and he's been around for a long time. Isaac McQuarrie, so fast, but this year, can he produce his fastest times in the final when it counts? That's what's been missing from the Botswanan. We know how fast he is, but it's producing it right when it counts. He's gone under 44 seconds. One of the fastest in the world this year, over 200. The 400 semis to come in around about half an hour.
Back to the pole vault now. Still the opening height is there. There's still no one over it, really, which is, well, maybe a bit surprising, but it's early days. Bernardo of Venezuela, the South American champion now. Looking across to her coach again, as Kathy said, they almost conditioned to doing that now. He's checking the wind for her, I think, making sure that there's no problems, but I don't think there's much of a wind down there at the moment. This stadium, now that it's got the roof on it, almost stops all wind down at trackside, I think. Still looking across. Here we go. The first attempt. 4:30, as you said, so far none of the athletes that have come in at the site have cleared it. Oh, that's a big vault. That's good. That's inspiring confidence, isn't it? Good run up. And in the end, very good vault indeed.
Okay, time to turn our attention to the track for the semi-finals of the women's 100 meters. 3 of them in total. The first 2 plus 2 fastest losers will advance to the final, which will form the climax of our 3rd evening. Elaine Thompson, the fastest woman in the world this year. She goes in the second of the semi-finals. Confirmation, it's 2 plus 2, so let's watch the clock for those who finish in 3rd in each of the 3 semi-finals. What a lineup for this first of 3 semi-finals in the women's 100 meters. 3 athletes in this have gone under 11 this season. Baptiste in 2, Skippers in 6, Talu of the Ivory Coast in 7.
On the track now, the semi-finals of the women's.
Don't forget about Deja Stevens of the United States in 5 as well. This is absolutely loaded, only 2 to make it. Japanese Skippers, silver medal 2 years ago. Run out of the medals last year at the Olympics over 100, although she did get the silver in the 2. Skippers goes in 6. This is Kellyanne Baptiste. bronze in Daegu. Hard to believe that was 6 years ago now, second in the national championships. Look at that, 10.88 this season, close to lifetime best. Simone Facey, second in the Jamaican national champs. Got a relay silver as part of the quartet, proudly flying the flag as all Jamaican sprinters are. What about the 20-year-old Daryl Nita? Relay bronze last year. A heroine's reception. This will be a very, very hard semi-final from which to qualify for the young woman. Deja Stevens made the final in Rio last year, just 22 years of age. She's a national champion over 200. 11 on the nose for 100 this season, not too shabby. Daphne Skippers, silver medalist 2 years ago, but by her own high standards, we have not seen her best so far in 2017. Now's the time to deliver for the Dutch fans in the stadium. Marie-José Tarlou, fourth in the 100 and the 200 last year in Rio with really fast times, rounding into form, winning the Monaco Diamond League. Tarlou will be one of the favourites to qualify. Yvette Lalova-Colliot, Bulgarian's been around for an eternity, made the Olympic final back in Athens in 04. Can the veteran produce another moment of magic here in London? Jura Levy on the outside, relay silver back in Daegu in 2011. Well, we know that quality athletes make it through to the semi-finals, but this is absolutely brutal. Baptiste in 2, Stevens, USA 5, Skippers, Netherlands 6. That's Baptiste. Tarlou, Ivory Coast in lane 7. There is huge quality lining up here in this first semi-final, and only 2 will advance to the showpiece showdown at the end of this third evening of action. They're safely away. Baptiste on the far side. Stevens got a really poor start from the United States. Skippers is taking while Tarlou and Skippers. Tarlou, Skippers and Baptiste will have to wait to see if she goes through as the fastest loser, while the woman who just missed out last year in Rio has laid down a massive declaration of intent there. 10.87, the official time. That is only 100th of a second outside her lifetime best. She was too good for Baptiste. She was too good for Skippers. That was very, very impressive. Tarlou is ready for the final.
Well, when you think how much she beat Daphne Skippers by there, and Daphne Skippers ran 10.98 to qualify in second. Well, she got out reasonably well, Tarlou, but not explosively. But look what she did at 50, 60 metres. She did to Daphne Skippers what Skippers normally does to the rest of the field. She pulled away from her at 60 metres. That was very impressive running. 10.87, 10.98, both those automatically through to the final later.
Well, she looked okay in the heats, but she looked sensational here, really did. The 400-metre strength, I think, of her ability carried her through towards the end there, and that was a really, really impressive run.
Further down the field, I think everyone was pretty enthused from a British point of view about the promise of Daryl Nita, fourth in 11.16. But there was a curious sort of stumbling start by DJ Stevens, who was really never into the race at all.
Yeah, Stevens was run out of that very early on. Tarlou is just coming into form. She won the Monaco Diamond League. She was the African champion a couple of seasons ago. Of course, all the headlines we think will be dominated by Elaine Thompson. And Skippers, Catherine, once again, not where she was 2 years ago when she was so close to doing the sprint double.
She's not. But she has run 10.98, so just 3/100 shy of her season's best. We know she performs in major championship finals, but it's what Tarlou did to her at the halfway mark that was impressive there. It really, really was. She's a shorter stature in terms of an athlete, and she just put the accelerator foot down and pulled away.
Marie-José Tarlou, a very, Very impressive qualification to the final. Skippers, the silver medalist from 2 years ago, will be there. Baptiste will have to wait and see if she can go through as one of the fastest losers. Good run from Nita of Great Britain in 4th.
Meanwhile, back at the pole vault, some of the early women now moved up to the new height of 4:45. This is Alicia Newman, again, of Canada. Second attempt clearance at that 4:30. Oh, wow, it's a little bit laboured. The speed dropped off a little bit in the run-up, but nevertheless, a good clearance. Early days, as we say in the pole vault's a strange event in the sense that obviously a bit like the high jump, the athletes go higher and higher. You don't really see the true ability. As a long jump, triple jump, they can get a big jump in early on and the game is over. But the pole vault goes on and on and on until finally we have the winner. That is McCarthy of New Zealand, clear at 4:30 again, taking the prudence of a attempt at 4:45 now, just to get her rhythm going. Oh, that's a good clearance, that really was. Well, if her coach is watching there. Third at the Olympics, well, not surprised that her form is coming back here at the World Championships. It really is. Look at that leg shoot high. Look at the clearance over that bar. All smiles.
So, women's javelin qualifying Group A. Kovacs from Croatia. The Olympic champion, the 22-year-old, looking for automatic qualifying of 63 meters and 50. Oh, well, very close to the big Q. As you would expect, 68 meters and 43 this year. She is the world leader. So it's potentially just a little bit shy of the qualifying standard automatically. But of course, if 12 athletes don't get the 63 meters and 50, then the 12 best performers over the 2 pools will advance. But that's a good opener, 63 meters and 3 centimeters. As expected from the Olympic champion, straight into the lead in that qualifying pool.
Well, back to the track now, and after that sensational first semi-final in the women's with Talu really setting the standards here, dropping well below the 11-second mark, so too Schippers. We go back now to the second semi-final. Women now just about to go down to the blocks. As I said, not a single seat available here in the stadium. I don't think there has been really for the whole week. So if you were late in trying to get your tickets, then it was a sorry affair. There we are. Swoboda of Poland, European Under-23 champion. She goes in 2, but the real eyes obviously will be in lane 4. Elaine Thompson, the double Olympic champion. There she is. And this is still a fairly hard heat as well, really. There's no easy qualifications, really, but we go through the lineup. As I said before, it's the first 2, pretty tough. Swoboda, there she is, the European Under-23 champion, running for Poland. Got the inside lane there. Desiree Henry. She lit the Olympic flame, and then she got a medal in the relay, really. And obviously a big cheer from the local crowd. Desiree Henry, wow. On her outside, a woman that she's going to try and keep up with, but it's going to be difficult. Elaine Thompson, double Olympic champion. She's just seen Talu smash that 11-second time. What is she going to do? The Jamaicans obviously here again tonight after last night. Lane 5, the 200 meters Canadian record holder, Crystal Emmanuel. So this dropping down the distance to the 100 meters here. Jocelanja Santos, the South American record holder. Ujanja Kambunji, European junior champion from Switzerland and the European bronze medalist. Ariana Washington, third in the American Championships. And then on the outside, for South Africa, Karina Horn, the record holder for this distance. So, here we go. First two, pretty cutthroat conditions to qualify. The first two and the two fastest through to the final. Swoboda, Henry, Thompson, Emmanuel, Santos, Kambunji, Washington and Horn. All eyes will be on that lady there in lane 4. Away this time, and you can see Thompson got a good start there. She's really pouring away. Coming on the outside there is Santos. Well, she's easing through, and the time, well, look at that, 10:84. Well, it's almost, if not an easy run for her with that. She was literally easing down over the last 20 meters or so. Just behind, you can see the rest of the athletes must also get a time. It was Santos that was in second place, an African record, and Kambunji of Switzerland just missing, dipping under the 11-second mark.
Well, that was outstanding. I'm a little bit speechless, but not surprised. Kambunji ran a superb race, 11.11 seconds, as you mentioned. She's now, at the moment, the second non-automatic qualifier. But Elaine Thompson, well, good start, as did Santos, the Brazilian. But look here, watch this. Shuts down, little look across. Yes, she has the momentum, and do you save much time in sprinting? Not potentially as much as some people think, but you are shutting down and relaxing, and that was a 10.84 second run, showing Ta Lu, you're in shape, I can see that. But let me just show you, remind you how good a shape I'm in.
Well, she was slowing down, but the fact that watching that, Kambunji didn't really close much on her, even though she was slowing down, just marginally slowing down.
Do you know what? Santos ran the race of her life there. An area record, not only a national record, but a South American record for the Brazilian, who, by the way, running 10.91, had never previously gone inside 11 seconds. That is an enormous personal best for the Brazilian, who will be well worthy of a place in the final.
Wow, that's 2 out of 3 so far. Unbelievable heats in these semi-finals in terms of times anyway. You just see, she was really slowing down, 20 meters out, if not more.
But wasn't it good how Santos fed off that in the semi-final? Okay, I'm against Elaine Thompson, but I'm going to use this, I'm going to take advantage and run under, as Rob said, 11 seconds for the first time. Absolutely super stuff. So Thompson, Santos, join Ta Lu and Schippers.
Wow. It's going to be tough with those sort of times to get some of the fastest qualifiers, the last 2 places as one of the fastest qualifiers to go through. Meanwhile, back at the pole vault, Bengertson. Oh, another good clearance at that second height at 4:45. Well, just that little tumble, a little stumble at 4:30, but now they're starting to get into their rhythm. Santee Morris now, the American, coming in at this height. Second at the Olympics, second at the World Championships. Whoa! And that's why. Really coming thick and fast now as the height starts increasing. Oh, she's smiling. Another attempt at 4:45 for Mulina, competing as one of the neutral athletes. Well, the Russians are taking advantage of the IWF permission to compete in these World Championships. That's the first time clearance at that height of 4:45. Nicole Buschler, Switzerland, 4th in the world indoors. Yeah, this is building into quite a competition now, because most of these women are clearing this fairly comfortably. I didn't think there was going to be a problem with the wind down there. There was a little bit of hesitation early on, I think, but from now on in, I think they've got their act together. Bernardo, South American champion, coming in again at this height. Well, there we go, another one over. Most of these athletes, their personal best well above this height of 4:45. Very few of them really in any danger at the moment. Anyway, Wesley Silva coming in now. Cuban, world champion, again taking that very comfortably indeed. Season's best of 481, so we're some 30 centimeters or so to spare, really. Very powerful, good technique.
So, the track's been set on fire in this evening session so far, with the first two semi-finals in the women's 100 meters. Semi-final number 3 is ready. Michelle Lee IE from Trinidad and Tobago. She'll start on the outside in this third and final semi-final. Muriel Ahure of the Ivory Coast. Start in lane number 7. And that is Gina Luckenkemper of Germany, who ran 10.95 seconds to qualify, a lifetime best. Okabare there, Tori Bowie of America. So it's an absolutely stacked semi-final. That's your full lineup. European representation, African representation, Caribbean representation, worldwide representation, as you'd expect in this third and final semi-final. So Toulouse, Skippers, Thompson, Santos, all automatically through. Baptiste currently the fastest non-automatic qualifier with 11:07, and Kambunji with 11.11. So in lane number 2 for Great Britain, Northern Ireland, she qualified with an 11.14 second, clocking Asher Phillip, ran the first leg of the Olympic bronze medal winning 4x1 team last year. Salome Cora of Switzerland, just in the good running from her teammate Kambunji, second at the Swiss champ. She'll start in lane number 3. And then Tori Bowie, a full set of medals from the Rio Olympics, a gold, silver and a bronze. Silver over this distance in Brazil last year. Lane number 5, Blessing Okabare from Nigeria, 10.79 seconds at her best. World-class long jumper, world-class sprinter, lane number 5. And then Gina Luckenkemper from Germany, as I mentioned, under 11 seconds for the first time to qualify for this semi-final, 10.95 seconds. Rewarded with lane number 6 in the thick of the action. Lane 7, Muriel Ahure, took a silver medal at the World Championships 4 years ago. Under 11 seconds this year, 10.83. Lane 8, Natasha Morrison of Jamaica, also at her best, under 11 seconds. And then completing the lineup, the world number 2, Michelle Lee IE of Trinidad and Tobago, 10.82 seconds this year. Second on those world rankings behind Elaine Thompson. So it's a stacked semi-final. 2 automatic qualifying places up for grabs. Phillip, Cora, Bowie, Okabare, Luckenkemper, Ahure, Morrison, IE. The third and final semi-final of the women's 100 metres. The final tonight at 10 to 10 UK time. So a good clean start. Ohore out reasonably well. Asher Phillip from Great Britain, Elaine number 2 out well. But here comes Bowie. Tori Bowie, unofficially 10.91 seconds. Ohore ran well in lane number 7. Well, we had one sub-11 second qualifying time from the heats. That was Lucan Kemper with a 10.95. And every single semi-final has gone under 11 seconds. In fact, the 6 automatic qualifiers have all gone under 11 seconds. And I can tell you, Michelle Lee IE finished in 3rd place and will qualify as a non-automatic qualifier, along with Baptiste from the first heat in 11.07. But when she got going, Tori Bowie, the US star, well, she looked comfortable as well. This women's final is going to be absolutely electric.
Well, good performance from Alicia Phillip, though. She was well up there, the British athlete, until about the 50-metre mark, and then she started dying terribly, I think. And as you see, Bowie came really strongly over the last 20 metres or so. I think out of the 3 semi-finals, though, I think the first 2, in my opinion, are the ones where a little bit better in terms of performance.
I think Tarlu looked really good in the first, but the standout star so far is Elaine Thompson. But what about this for general standard? As you said, Catherine, 6 women under 11 seconds, and in many cases, well under 11 seconds, 4 of them by almost a 1/10 of a second. Bowie looked good. I think she will get a medal in the final, but surely it's going to take a disaster for Thompson for her not to end up becoming world champion to add to her Olympic title. She's on fire.
Well, she's such a special athlete, isn't she? And we will see later tonight. The defending champion will be back. And Tori Bowie, the head-on shot, as Rob Walker was speaking, showed it all. She was very relaxed in that 3rd semi-final. It's exciting stuff. This is what we want. It's the World Championships here in London. And the fastest women in the world will come back at just before 10 o'clock tonight and battle it out for the 100-metre gold medal.
Well, Rob's given his opinion on it, but I think it's a lot more open than that, really. It's going to be very close. There's some very, very good performances there.
Bowie, 10.91. Ohore, 10.99. Michelle Lee IE, 11.04 seconds. That will get her a place in the World Championship final. We'll bring you the full list of all the qualifiers who will now make their way to the warm-up track. Relax, chill out, get focused, and then go through the call room procedure and come back for the final. And there you go. There's your 8 athletes, led by Elaine Thompson, the Olympic champion, 10.84 seconds, and indeed IE and Baptiste from that first semi-final. 11.07 seconds will get through as well, much to the delight of her coach, Atto Bolden, who's just behind us with a big sigh of relief.
Meanwhile, back at the pole vault, Alicia Newman, her first attempt at 4:45. Oh. Well, I think that caption might have been wrong. It's 4:55, or I didn't read it properly. It's 4:55, so that's even better for the Canadian. There it is. Looking very happy. Personal best is 4:71, so again, a lot of these women not really close to their personal best in the vault at the moment, as it steps up a distance, or height I should say, of 10 centimetres from 4:45 to 4:55.
Molitor of Germany, second throw in this women's javelin throw qualification Group A. 61 metres and 76 was her first throw. Oh, that's better. Of course it's better. It passes the automatic qualifying line of 63 metres and 50. That's good throwing. Kovacs, the defending champion, came close in the first round with 63 metres and 3. But Molitor of Germany, she's the defending champion. Kovacs, the Olympic champion from Rio, coming close to the mark as well, but 65 metres and 37. Job done.
Santee Morris now. Her attempt at 4:55. Olympic silver medalist. Oh, yeah, there you go. Well, she only lost the gold, really, by a centimetre from Stefanidi. So maybe this is going to be a bit of a rival match going on here a bit later on as they get closer to their better heights, I should say, in the pole vault.
Kelsey Lee Roberts, second throw. 61 metres and 12 on her first effort. Well, she's literally pierced. She throws her arms in the air. The qualifying distance of 63 metres and 50. So remember, this is qualification Group A. We've seen Molitor automatically qualify. And Roberts, well, she's going to be bang on, if not just over the 63 metres and 50. 63 metres and 70. The Australian also now, Commonwealth bronze medalist in 2014, through to the final.
Mulliner now coming in at this height, 4:55 again, another clearance. Russian national, as I said before, authorised neutral athlete taking part, and that's why they've got the blue vests on, not a national vest, but one given to them so that they can compete here in these championships. Well, here we go. The great British athlete now, Holly Bradshaw, 5th and 6th at the last two Olympics. Oh, wow, vault goes slightly over to the side there, but nevertheless, a clearance. Well, she would probably want to rectify that. Doesn't look happy, but nevertheless, she's cleared the height. Going way over to the right of the pit. Still, it's done, it's dusted. Think about the next one. Lisa Ristic of Germany, 3rd in European Championships. 4:75 this year already. Another good clearance. Well, so far so good for everybody. Butcher of Germany. Fourth in the world indoors. Qualified easily at the 4:55, so this is the same height that she qualified for this final. It shouldn't be a problem. Oh no, just lost it on the run up there. Well, she's thinking maybe there was a bit of a problem with the wind, but we'll have to wait and see. Not sure what the wind was in those hundreds actually. We never gave a check on that really, but probably about 1 or 2 either side of the neutral on that one anyway.
Now it's time for the semi-finals of the men's 400 metres. Absolutely packed here this evening, and those lucky enough to have a ticket will see some of the sport's very best. This is a very, very competitive event. Real sense of anticipation ahead of these semi-finals. Wade van Niekerk, the world record holder, the Olympic champion, the defending world champion, 43.03 from lane 8. It was the standout performance in Brazil last year. First 2 plus 2 fastest losers across the 3 semi-finals, and fast is the operative word. Here's the lineup for the first of the 3 semi-finals in the men's 400 metres. What an absolutely loaded race. Will London the third for the USA, Stephen Gardner, brilliant performer from the Bahamas, and Fred Curley, 7th fastest in history, goes in 7th. Kevin Borlée, national champion, got a bronze way back in Daegu. He was European champion the year before that. He's gone well under 45 this season, coming back to 4th. Dwayne Cowan, coached by his dad Lloyd, PB this year, under 46 seconds for the first time. But he will need to go out hard, because what a find this guy has been. Fred Curley has won all 16 of his 400-metre races so far this year. 43.70, one of the quickest in history. Nathan Allen, well, a silver in the relay last year in Rio. He's the national champion. Look at that, 44.52, PB shape this year. What about this young powerhouse from the Bahamas? They call him Boy Wonder. National champion, 44.26. He's won the Stockholm and Doha Diamond Leagues. The appropriately named Wilbert London III, World Junior Silver last year. Second in his heat, third in the US trials. Another man running quicker than he's ever done. Oscar Husilios, the Spaniard, 45.22. You suspect he'll need more to make an impact here. And on the inside, we say the inside, it's the athlete in lane 2, Rafael Amelka, European indoor bronze medalist a couple of years ago. So we can expect some one-lap fireworks here. Amelko, Poland, Husilios, Spain, London the third in 4, that won't get confusing, Gardner of the Bahamas in 5, Allen Jamaica 6, Curley 7, Cowan in 8, Borlée on the outside, the Belgian. Curley aiming to make it through to his first global final. He is a huge talent. Can he deliver now when it matters? He'll have Gardner of the Bahamas 2 inside him in 5. They are away at the first time of asking. Let's see who is first up into their running. Relatively even there. Curley going well. Cowan's closing down Borlée, but Curley is running well. And look at Gardner. So smooth down the back straight. He's already making up the stagger on Nathan Allen. And we're still to see an impact from London the third. He's going to have to go some to get back in this. Gardner and Curley, the two men going well here. Curley on the outside, then Gardner. Allen running really well, the Jamaican in third, and in fact the Jamaican's coming through. Curley's out of this at the moment. He's going to have to rely on a fastest loser spot. The two men from the Caribbean, Gardner, Allen and Curley, 43.9. My goodness me. The only thing I would say, hope he's left something for the final. That was a fantastic performance. Curley showed a little bit of inexperience there. We know how fast he is, but he went out too hard and tied up when the Jamaican came through on his inside. He's going to have to wait and see if he can go through as a fastest loser. And that, by the way, is a national record for the Bahamian. 43.89, Allen 44.19 and 44.51. Curley's got an anxious wait.
Stephen Gardner lowered his own national Bahamian record from 44.27. Then he took it down 100ths to 44.26 this season. He's never gone under 44 seconds before. 43.89, a national record, as you say, Rob. And Allen as well in second, a personal best of 44.19. He's still on the track, though. Obviously, it took a lot out of him because it was a sub-44-second run. But boy, did he drag those two guys round with him.
Exactly. The fascinating thing about that race, I think, those two guys were with him, but the others way back there. London of the United States, 45.1. You know, it's interesting, the difference in standards between those three and the others behind, but we expected a lot more from this, apart from these three.
Yes, some of them, like London, have had the full American collegiate season, and a lot of the Americans, you know, don't do so well when they come to the championships. But just another line on Gardner. That takes him to 12th on the world all-time list, one place behind the former world record set by Lee Evans. That just shows what a class run that was.
Well, in the Bahamas, he's the boy wonder. And you know what? Even though he was tired afterwards, lying on the track, looks him pretty. He's holding his form wonderfully well.
Quick question then, bearing in mind what a big PB that is there any danger that that will have taken something out of his legs that he can't replace in the final, or has he got enough time to recover because that's not until Tuesday?
Well, I'll ask Catherine in a moment. I would say there's probably time enough. If you have two in one day, then there's a real problem. But of course, it takes them out. And you often do get semi-finalists running faster than final. Kath?
Indeed. It's an interesting timetable this year because normally when we've had major championships back in my day, we used to run consecutive rounds, which would actually be easier than having a day off. If you have a day off, which these guys have tomorrow, Monday, and then have to pick yourself up again, that can sometimes be harder. But it's the individual athlete. It's not a surprise that he's run that fast. We know how talented he is. We'll have to wait and see on Tuesday, won't we, at 10 to 10 UK time. But he's done it though now. Is it in his legs? Yes, it is. But boy, that was impressive from the Bahamian star. And well done, Nathan Allen, as well, from Jamaica.
Well, Bernardo now, her attempt at 4:55. South American record holder and the champion. Just being told a little bit of news from her coach was what's going on in terms of the wind. Oh, good clearance. Well, her best, well, season's best and personal best, 4:65. So she's coming close to that now. The next height will be her season's and personal best. So that's a good clearance for her. Silva, Cuba, coming in now. Defending world champion. Just lost count back in that Olympics by. Oof, wow. Wasn't exactly a super clearance, but it's enough. I think she just touched the bar as she went over. She's going through that in her mind there. But there it is. McCarthy. Oh, that's another very good clearance. Well, you're seeing why this woman is a bronze medalist when she was just in her first year as a senior. Catching up now with some of the previous vaults. Angelica Brexit, Sweden. Just that one failure so far at 4:55. Oh, but in the end, that's a good clearance. European bronze medalist. Personal best, 4:70, 4:65 this year. So she's getting close to the heights, which could cause problems. Here we are, there's the start list for this. And look, the big name, the big star perhaps for the future goes in 6. Van Niekerk. We'll go through quickly. Harun. There he is on the outside from Qatar. Just on the inside of him. Regan of Ireland. European, 6th in the European Championships. Big Irish contingent here, Wavy Mont. And then just inside of him, the former Olympic and world champion, LaShawn Merritt. Coming back into form, 44.78 this year. Wow. This is the new star in our sport, I think. The new star in this event anyway. Wade Van Niekerk, the Olympic and world champion and world record on. Well, you can't get any better than that. That fantastic run in the Olympics from lane 8, where he decimated the world record. The African champion, Boloki Hiri from Botswana. The African champion back in 2016. Bronze medalist from London 2012. Lalonde Gordon of Trinidad and Tobago. 2 bronze, each from the London Games and then Glasgow 2014. And then Boniface Maresa from Kenya. And on the inside, obviously the biggest cheer of the night will be for this man, Matthew Hudson-Smith of Great Britain, European silver medalist, an Olympic finalist in Rio.
Tuesday's final is semi-final number 2 on the men's 400 metres.
Well, Van Niekerk in qualifying left it late, but came through so strong in the last 100 metres. He is capable of running from the front and from the back. Well, they're away in the second semi-final. Van Niekerk is going well, but so too on his outside, Merritt. These two are, in fact, storming away, but going down the back straight now. You can see the Olympic champion, Van Niekerk, closing down on the outside of him, LaShawn Merritt. Also going well on the inside there is Gordon of Trinidad and Tobago. Coming off the bench, it's going to be close. Van Niekerk is there. Thebe is also there. Thebe is leading. Van Niekerk, look at the speed that he's got over this last lap. Thebe is leading at the moment. Van Niekerk is coming through. He's just going to take it. Thebe in second place. And on the inside, Hudson Smith of Great Britain. Well, the winning time not as fast as that first semi-final, but fast enough. 44.22. Well, he always leaves it. He looks as if he was maybe struggling a little bit there as Thebe came off the bend, but he came back at him very strong.
Do you know what, Steve? We have got another star of the future from an African nation in Babaloki Thebe. He's only 20. He's run 44.02 this season, and he asked some questions of Van Niekerk in that semi-final. Yes, of course, the Olympic champion and world champion took it with 44.22. Thebe ran a more even-paced race than LaShawn Merritt outside him, and what confidence there from the Botswanan youngster. Van Niekerk came back to take it. Haroon, actually, on the near side, just came through ahead of Matthew Hudson-Smith, who still ran a good time at 44.74. But what a run from the 20-year-old from Botswana. We almost expect these kind of performances from Van Niekerk, and it is a good qualification. But what confidence from a 20-year-old to take on the world record holder like that. Great run.
Well, Van Niekerk, of course, would have been aware of him, and I mean coming into this championships. Weighed, of course, around 43.62 this season, but Thebe is a 44 flat runner. Was it as easy as it looked? We're going to have to wait and see. You'd think so with how fast he's run, but it was a very good run by both of those athletes.
I don't think yet there's the result of that race. Van Niekerk coming through 44.22. Thebe just behind him, 44.33. Haroon also with the season's best there, 44.64. Not as fast as that first semi. I think Van Niekerk hasn't run his proper race yet. I think he's run the sort of race that needs to just qualify. The real Van Niekerk goes hard all the way. No relaxing, nothing. Just power, power, power. And that's what's destructive when he gets into that sort of rhythm. Third attempt for Newell now in the pole vault. Oh, that's the first, I think, of the vaulters to go out of this competition from Canada. A little bit disappointing, but this is the inevitability of the pole vault. We got Buschler of Switzerland. This is her final attempt at this site. 4:55. No. So the qualifying height that they had to do to get into the final is now causing a little bit of problems for these women. Season's best of 4:73, so disappointing for Buschler, I think.
So women's javelin, Kolak not managed to get over the 63 meters and 50 automatic qualifying just yet. This is a final throw and attempt to do it. Well, she's falling just short. 63.03 in round number 1. Remember, if they don't get 12 athletes over 63 meters and 50, that's a healthy throw over 63 meters. Looks like a slight improvement for her. So Molitor, Roberts from Australia. The two that have the automatic qualifying. It's going to be an improvement, and it's going to probably comfortably get her into the top 12. 63 meters and 24.
Okay, so the height has increased at 4.65. Santee Morris now coming in. Clearance at 4.45 and 4.55, no problems at all. Oh, she's so fast on the runway. Gets a lot of power into that bar. And she's the first woman So far, failures from all the other athletes at this particular height. Newman and McCartney.
So back onto the track for the third and final semi-final in the men's 400. Oh, it's a treat so far this evening. We've had fast running in the women's 100-metre semi-finals, fast running in the men's 400 metres semi-finals. This is the third and final semi then, and this is your lineup. Isaac Makwala of Botswana in lane number 5. Definitely one to watch. He's been pushing Wade van Niekerk this season in a Diamond League meeting, in particular in Monaco.
Just 18 years of age, the new Pan American Junior Champion.
So Jamal Walton from the Cayman Islands, he'll start in lane number 9, the new Pan American Junior Champion. Only 18 years old, under 45 seconds this season, 44.99.
The Rio Olympic Games for Trinidad and Tobago,
Makel Cedinho from Trinidad and Tobago just missed a medal at the Rio Olympics. He'll start in 8. In 7, Gil Roberts of the USA. Second at the US Championships, 44.92 to qualify for this semi-final. Lane number 6, Demish Gay of Jamaica. Under 45 seconds to qualify for the final, 44.64 this season. But in lane number 5, the reigning African Games champion at 400 metres, Isaac Makwala, on the 14th of July in Madrid, became the first man to run sub-20 over 200 and sub-44 in the same day. Lane 4, David Rey of Italy, the Italian champion. In lane number 3, the Belgian record holder, Jonathan Borlée, 29 years old now, 44.43 5 years ago, just over 45 seconds this season. And completing the lineup, Czech Republic's Pavel Maslak. Has a big indoor title now every year for the last 5 years. He has run 44.79 outdoors 3 seasons ago. So, we've seen some good running. All eyes, though, will be on Makwala. He plans to do the double over 200 and 400 metres like Wade van Niekerk at these championships. 44.55 to qualify for this semi-final. So a clean start. Expect Makwala to go out hard. 19.77 seconds he ran in the same afternoon as 43.92. Speed endurance isn't a problem for this man. And he's absolutely flying down the back straight, as is Roberts of the USA in 7. So, Makwala, lane number 5, working round the top bend between 200 and 300 metres. He's going to come into the home straight with a 2 or 3 metre lead. Makwala, Roberts in 7 of the USA, Gay of Jamaica on a charge. He's going to pass the American and come in second. The top 2 guaranteed a place in the final. Makwala slows down, pulls back, 44.30 seconds. Well, the big guns have delivered in the semi-finals of this men's 400 metres. 44.30 seconds for Makwala, a personal best for Demish Gay of Jamaica. Wonderful running by him, 44.55 seconds. That's wonderful running. He missed the Jamaican Olympic team, didn't he, in Rio last year when he contracted the Zika virus. So a personal best, good running, and Makwala. Well, what do we think?
Well, that was a good run from Makwala. He ran hard all the way, though, until 300 metres. He gave everything he had till the 300-metre mark. But then he really did. He's right down over that last 100 metres. Here he is. He's got a gap of almost 3 or 4 metres on the rest of the field coming into here. Gay and Roberts just behind, really sort of like struggling to in this man's wake. But I think the last 50 metres, he's looking over his shoulder. But before that, even in the last 50 metres, he took the foot off the throttle. He did.
And the headline, as we watch Makwala, is that Fred Curley has got away with his over-exuberance and inexperience in the first of the semi-finals. The 7th fastest man in history will be in the final as a fastest loser.
And just a reminder, that race was so fast. The time by Stephen Gardner, 43.89, only the second sub-44 time in World Championships semi-final history. The only man ever to do that before, and it's slightly slower, 43.95, Michael Johnson in Seville.
Well, flashing through as confirmation of that result. And there's your full lineup then, the 8 athletes that will contest the men's 400-metre final on Tuesday night. Gardner, Allen, Van Niekerk, McQuarrie, Thebe, Curley, Gay and Haroon. Wow, that's going to be good.
Stefanini comes in at this height for the first vault wall. Well, no wonder, really. So easy, that particular clearance. 4.65, I suppose, not really a major problem for this woman, the Olympic champion, but she's breathing a sigh of relief. It's always difficult when you come in late in the pole vault, just in case anything happens and you find yourself really in real problems. Holly Bradshaw, again, checking with the coach on the wind. First attempt at 4.65. Oh, no, a little bit slow in that approach. We saw her previously going across to the right of the uprights and just getting that clearance at 4.55. That one, again, slightly going awry there.
So the athletes walk out for the medal ceremony for the men's long jump. It was an outstanding competition. A competition with athletes full of inspiring stories in athletics and outside of athletics, Steve.
Certainly was. And it was a great competition. The qualifying rounds were a little bit disappointing, but then again, they really did come good in that final. Fantastic to watch over the back straight, it really was.
Presenting the medals,
Ahmed Kalkaba Malbou, IWF Vice President.
Médaille de bronze représentant l'Afrique du Sud.
By the bronze medal
representing South Africa,
going to a South African, and a wonderful performance from this man, Rushwell Samai, with that 8.32 jump. It was so close though in all of the competitions, really. Just leading Menkov at one stage, and then Menkov came back. But then that jump of Samai, that 8.32, sealing the bronze medal.
Médaille d'argent représentant les États-Unis d'Amérique.
And from America, Jarion Lawson. 8.44. And I think in the history of world long jump, the smallest margin that they've won the gold medal by is 4 centimeters. It's exactly this same thing again, because he was 8.44 to the winning jump of 8.48. And the gold medal for a man who's turned his life around and really enjoying it. Luvo Mayonga, another medal for South Africa. He is really enjoying himself there. As I said, that jump for 8.48. He has produced an enormous jump this year, and he is in superb form. His last jump actually in the competition was enormous, and it was a marginal fail.
Mesdames et messieurs, l'hymne national de l'Afrique du Sud.
Ladies and gentlemen, the national anthem of South Africa.
Great sport is about inspirational journeys and inspirational stories. Lubo Manyonga, not 3 years ago, was in jail addicted to crystal meth. He had gone on the wrong road after starting out with great athletic potential as a youngster. He has turned his life around, and surely somebody in South Africa should be making a documentary or a film about that man. An outstanding story.
Meanwhile, back at the women's pole vault, Bernardo coming in now at this height of 465. No. Pole vault women. All clear up into this particular height, but obviously just missing out there. Silver now coming in. Again, all clear so far up to this height as well. Silver medalist at the Olympics, you would think that this would be no problem. Oh, but it is. Wow. So far, no one really has gone clear at this particular. I have to wait and see, though.
Women's javelin qualification continues. Lu of China, third round. Best to date, 58 meters and 89. Everybody looking for 63 meters or 50 or thereabouts to put themselves in a top 12 position. Well, she doesn't need there or thereabouts. She's gone over the 63 meter 50 automatic qualifying. Mission accomplished for the Chinese athlete. That's what she needed to do. The Chinese record holder, 66.47 this season. So it was within her compass. 64 meters and 72 automatic qualifying. So Pool A has concluded. Pool B will start soon, so 3 automatic qualifiers for the final. Molitor, Lu and Roberts. But remember, we need the top 12 in total for the final. And Group B will start in just a few moments' time.
So the hurdles are out on the track as we turn our attention to the 3 semi-finals. Only the first 2 in each guaranteed a place in the big showdown. Harry's Merritt is the world record holder. He goes in the 3rd of the semi-finals. Omar McLeod is the fastest man in the world this year. He goes in the 1st. As always, when it's 3 semi-finals, just the first 2 plus 2 fastest losers. Here's the lineup for the first of the 3 semi-finals in the 110 hurdles. Omar McLeod in 7, the fastest man in the world this year. Shubenkov, though, on the outside in 9, is the defending champion. In between them, Ali Harris of the United States.
110-meter hurdles semi-finals. 3 races.
Very competitive semi-final. You'd expect nothing less. The prize for the quickest 2, a place in tomorrow night's showdown.
Semi-final number 1.
3'9", those barriers. In old-fashioned measurements, no mean feat. Genta Mizuno, 3rd in the World Student Games a couple of years ago. He's in PB shape this year. Surely will need another one to get into the final. Yaqub Al-Yuha of Kuwait. He goes in lane 3. What a talent in lane 4. Olympic silver medalist. Competed 5 years ago for Cuba, got a silver last year for Spain, won the Stockholm Diamond League. He's in form and he looked cracking in the heats. Milan Trajkovic of Cyprus, another man in lifetime best shape. Garfield Darien usually gets away really quickly. World indoor bronze back in 2014. And the Olympic champion, the fastest man in the world this year, winner in Shanghai, winner in Eugene, trains with Kenny Harrison, the female world record holder, who's also going for gold, hoping to produce the magic for Jamaica. Ali Harris, US champion, only made the semis 2 years ago. He's a faster, better athlete than that now. Sergei Shabenkov, neutral athlete here. He's the defending champion. Looked a little out of sorts in the heats. Needs to turn it on here with quality on his inside. Ortega in 4, McLeod in 7, Harris 8, Shabenkov in 9. We have the Olympic champion, the defending champion, and the silver medalist from last year in Rio. That's McLeod. It's been an almost flawless season. A cramp in one of the Diamond Leagues, but apart from that, so far, he hasn't put a foot wrong. That's Ortega in 4. Only 2 guaranteed to advance tomorrow night. Absolutely packed in the stadium. You can hear a pin drop. Cleanly away. Darien getting away well, and McLeod still yet to come into his running. There's a faller there, and McLeod now coming through. It's McLeod and Darien, I think. 13-11. Well, he's getting better, bit by bit. 13-10, he's taken that one. I think it was Al Yuha who fell on the inside. Good run by Garfield Darien. That was really unfortunate there for the Q80. Darien's taken the second spot. Shabenkov, the defending champion, will have to wait to see. And at 13:22, not sure.
Well, that was an interesting race. Shabenkov walks off. Let's keep an eye on Omar McLeod in the yellow of Jamaica. He got out well. Darien clipped a hurdle. It really was neck and neck, wasn't it, at one point, between Darien, the French athlete, in 6 and McLeod in lane 7. But then Omar McLeod has this wonderful ability between the hurdles to continue, of course, generating the speed. Very upright in his technique. No real lean. Shabenkov there on the left of his shot. As you say, Rob, we'll wait and see with his 13.22 seconds. But in an interview after his heat this morning, Omar McLeod said, yeah, I'm here. Happy to get through, looking to get the job done. And he's through to that final.
Catherine, considering that he has run 12.9, I thought he looked just a tiny little bit tight there. He was put under pressure by the Frenchman. He didn't get a great start, the Jamaican, and he'll look to make amends for that in the final. Of course, that's where the big times and the big performances count. But I think there's a little bit of room for improvement there from the Jamaican. He didn't have that semi-final all his own way.
One casualty there, perhaps the people we were expecting for the beginning of the year. Orlando Ortega, only 4th place.
Fastest man in the world this year. The Olympic champion will be in the final. So too Garfield Darien. Excellent run from the Frenchman. Shabenkov's the defending champion. He will have to wait and see if he gets one of those 2 fastest loser berths.
Rajtic now coming in at a second attempt at this height of 4.65, the German. Oh yeah, that's good. Quickly off the runway. It's a little bit chilly down there. They're getting back to putting a tracksuit on. There it is. It's just a second attempt at that height. Bernardo, second attempt at this height. So far, only 3 have cleared this height. Morris, Stefanidi, and we just saw Rajtic just doing it as well now. Bernardo. This is close to her personal best. If she does this, it's been a great vault. Ooh, and it stays on! Wow, that really did go up and down, didn't it? I've seen less than that fall off, but that one stayed on. Wow, wonderful, wonderful vault there. National record for Venezuela too. You can't ask for more than that. Let's just watch it again. Just catches it on the way down. It goes up past the camera, comes back down again. And that's the coach. I think he's happy. Yep.
That could be a medal-winning vault in this women's pole vault final. You never know in women's pole vault.
Now Silva,
65.
just looking at that, thinking, well, maybe I'll have a bit more of that luck if I hit it as hard as that. Just the silver medal, as I said, in the Olympics. She wants a gold here. Concentration on her face, look. Coach, impassive. Well, the crowd are really getting excited around there with the pole vaulters, clapping, cheering. Here we go. Silva coming in now at this height. Oh, yeah, that's a good vault. So far, 4 of these women are clear at this height. We are really getting to the pointy end of the women's pole vault here at the moment.
In lane 2, 7 times the
well, in lanes, sorry, just quickly there, we'll just go through the lanes now. It's Sabula of Germany, 7 times the German champion. He goes in 2. Irabane of Cuba, there he is. Twice the Cuban champion at this distance, just on his outside. I think one of the people would have to watch Devon Allen. Twice the US champion, running obviously for the USA, looked really, really good. I don't know what that means, but he looked really, really good in qualifying for this semi-final. And then another one to watch out, Charlie Braithwaite, 3rd in the Commonwealth. He too looked very, very good in qualifying. Andrew Pozzi, European champion indoors, running for Great Britain. Looked good too, won his heat, so he's got a good position here in lane 6. This is a very good semi-final. Nancy Parchment, silver medal in Beijing, the Jamaican, tall, fast, and one to watch for. Idel Contreras of Spain, semi-finalist at the Olympics. And just on the outside, Damian Chikia of Poland. So again, Bua, Irabane, Allen, Braithwaite, Pozzi, Parchment, Contreras and Chikia. Just 2 through, and the 2 fastest losers to the final. Last preparations now as they go down to the blocks in this second semi-final. Away this time. Allen got a great start, just to his left also. Irabane going well. Irabane there, coming on the outside of him. Braithwaite also going well. Braithwaite, but coming through the Brit. Pozzi is also running well. Pozzi there coming through. All 4 of them go across the line together. Allen, Braithwaite, Pozzi and Parchment. Wow, sort that one out with a photo finish. Very, very close. The winning time, 13:28. Well, it all happened over the last hurdle. People are looking across at each other, looking up at the scoreboard. We are confused, really. It looked as if, really, at the end of the day, Braithwaite may have just come through, and I think he's seen it the same as we have. Season's best, 13:26. Just behind him, Parchment, 13:27. And Allen, I think the American, Yes, I think he has. He's got the 3rd place. 13.27. Well, he'll have to wait. Well, that's a disappointment if that's the case, but we're looking back at the scores of the last 6, and he is out of the competition.
Steve, the fastest losers, Shabenkov 13.22, Ortega 13.23. Only the first 2 have a chance of going through, and that is such a disappointment. Here, Andrew Pozzi has this race under control, and then it all gets very, very tight.
It got very tight, didn't it, off the 10th barrier. The Briton was leading. His run off the final hurdle finished him in 4th, but Brathwaite Parchment automatically through.
Well, back to the pole vault, all drama going on here. This is Newman's final attempt at 4.65. Oh, close, and that is a great vault for her. Wonderful, wonderful performance. Well, season's best at 4.71, and she is getting close to that. Canadian record holder. Well, that is that 4.71, so if she's vaulting like this, she might get close to the Canadian record in qualifying. She'll have to if she goes up another height. What a great feeling it must do when you do that, when you clear that bar coming down. Wow, this is McCartney now from New Zealand, her last attempt. Bronze medalist at the Olympics. Oh, caught it on the way up, I think. Oh, that's a disappointment for McCartney. She's had a great season, 4.82 this year. That is possibly having a little bit of a problem with the Achilles, it was rumoured, but I hope that was over and done with. Bengtsson, Sweden. Oh, no. So, unfortunately, she leaves the competition at the side of 4.65. Olga Milina, competing under the neutrality. Of the IAAF to take part in this competition. The Russian-based athlete. Oh, no. Close, but not to beat. And there's the result of that incredibly close heat of the men's hurdles. Braithwaite just getting it, 13.26, just in front, behind him, I should say, Parchment. Allen, unfortunately, your newest from the United States of America, did not qualify. Wow. Back now to the pole vault. Bradshaw, her last attempt at this height of 4.65. She's been going slightly to the left of the uprights as she's been attacking it. 5th, 6th at the Olympics. Season's best of 4.81. This really shouldn't be a problem. Here she comes, the crowd really willing her on. Yes! Oh, living dangerously. So relieved, yes, it must have been really, really stressful in front of your home crowd. Wow, they're really getting behind her now. That's going to lift her, it surely must. Still going slightly to the right there of those uprights, still not quite getting her vault right. If you're going to the right, you're losing height. You're losing height off the pole, and that's not good.
Well, she's annoyed with herself, Bradshaw, that she put herself in that situation. But she lives to fight another day in that women's pole vault final. the third and final semi-final of the men's 110-metre hurdles. The world record holder, Aries Merritt from the USA, will start in lane number 7. So, Darian McLeod, Brathwaite, Parchment. O'Farrell of Cuba will start in lane number 2. The Cuban champion, former world junior champion. Lane number 3, Ada Antonio Souza of Brazil, 13.56 seconds to qualify, 13.46, a lifetime best. Wen Junji of China, the Chinese number 1 after retirement, the former world record holder Lu Zhang. Lane number 5, Baji of Hungary, European silver last year. Lane number 6, Eddie Lovett of the US Virgin Islands, 13.41 to qualify, a season's best. But in lane number 7, the Olympic champion, the world record holder, qualified the fastest for these semi-finals, Aries Merritt of the USA, 12.80 seconds, the world record he set. Lane number 8, Jonathan Cabral of Canada. 13.35 at his best, just shy of that this season. And completing the lineup, the African champion from South Africa, Antonio Alcana, 13.11 seconds this season. So, the final semi-final, 2 automatic spaces are left. You see on the screen the current qualifiers by time, the non-automatic qualifiers. Shebenkov, 13.22, Ortega, 13.23. That's Aries Merritt. Looked very good in qualifying this morning.
No.
He's 1 race away from another major championship final. So it's a clean start, Merritt going well in lane number 7, as is Baji of Hungary in lane number 5. Oh, the Hungarian's absolutely flying in the centre of the track. Well, I think he's going to have picked him. Balázs Baji of Hungary, 13.24 seconds, so quicker than he ran to qualify for this semi-final. So if that's been won in 13.23, which it has, it confirms that Shebenkov and Ortega will both qualify for the final as the fastest non-automatic qualifiers. Baji there, looked good. Merritt, potentially not as good as in the heat this morning.
Yeah, I would agree with that, Catherine. I thought Merritt was really smooth. He was the most impressive of all the qualifiers. I'll tell you what, Balázs Baji cannot be ruled out of contention for a medal. He set another national record this year, 13.15. And how about that? Shebenkov, the defending champion, and Ortega, the silver medalist last year in Rio, both having to rely on fastest loser berths. I still think Merritt's got a chance, but maybe McLeod is not as nailed on for the gold as we thought he would be coming here to London. I think the fastest man in the world this year has looked tight, and that might give an opportunity for someone like Baji in the final.
Well, Xi of China in lane number 4 was desperately trying to get into the top 2 position, but he wasn't going to get past the Hungarian and the world record holder. So, 3 explosive semi-finals. All the main players, one way or another, have got into that final. He is so smooth though, Aries Merritt, 12.80 seconds. Olympic champion here, of course, 5 years ago. We'll bring you the lineup of all the finalists as soon as we can.
Morris now, 4.75. Oh, yes. Well, she is flying at the moment. 475 is going to be a big jump for anybody, really. Olympic champion Stefanidi. Just that one vault at 465 coming into this competition. Oh yeah, constantly over that bar. Over the season's best of 485. This really shouldn't be a problem, but we're getting up there into the stratosphere as far as women's vaulting is concerned.
For Stefanidi, it's the 7th competition of the year she's done this height or more. She really has the best overall record.
Well, this is the vault of the Great Britain athlete now getting, well, that's disappointing, really. This is the height which I think is going to cause problems to everybody.
So that's confirmation. Bargy and Merritt through in the final semi-final in the men's high hurdles. And as we mentioned, the final tomorrow evening at 9:30 UK time. And there is your full lineup, led by Omar McLeod.
Okay, can you feel the ground beginning to shake? The big boys are coming out for the shot put final. And what a showdown this could be. Almost all the big names from the top 10 in the world this year are going toe-to-toe for one of the sport's biggest prizes. Well, Steve Ovett, not the biggest fan of the introductions, but it adds a certain je ne sais quoi.
Throwing order, throwing at 1, the 2017 European Indoor Champion for
Konrad Bukowiecki, European Indoor Champion as a teenager, a huge unit, 21.59 this season. Ryan Whiting, silver medalist in Moscow, twice a World Indoor Champion. Big Tom Walsh, Rio bronze medalist, reigning World Indoor Champion, and he is in superb form, 22.14 in qualification. Darrell Hill, third in the US Champs, just missed a medal in the Pan American Games. Andre Gag, silver behind Walsh in the World Indoors. Didn't qualify for the final in Beijing and Rio, but he's here now. Joe Kovacs, defending champion, Olympic silver medalist, squeaked through from qualification. Stajt Zunic, fourth in the Europeans a couple of years ago. He's had a good season, up to 21.5. Michal Haratic, European silver medalist, didn't make it to the final in Rio last year. The overwhelming favourite, the 7th best putter in history, the Olympic champion, Jacko Gill, double World Junior Champion. Can he now start to make an impact in the senior ranks? David Stahl, one of the greats in terms of major championship performances. World Youth and Junior Champion, twice a World Champion. And Tomáš Stenik of the Czech Republic, he's gone over 22 metres this season. Well, if it goes to form, Ryan Krauser, the Olympic champion, should become the world champion, and maybe he could produce something very special here in the stadium. Also getting underway in the field this evening,
qualification Group B of the women's javelin, 63 metres and 50. Of course, just like Group A is the automatic qualifying distance. Barbora Spatakova, the world record holder, in pretty good form this year as well, the athlete from the Czech Republic. She will start this Group B, looking for that one throw for potential automatic qualifying.
Meanwhile, back to the pole vault, and it's getting to the crunch time here. Silver, Cuba, coming in at first height of 475. Just 2 athletes have cleared it so far, Morris of the United States and Stefanidi, the Olympic champion of Greece. Bradshaw, we just saw her just behind, pacing around. She just fouled that height. The British vaulter, she's waiting for her second chance. There she's just behind. Silver, though, still waiting for the conditions here. The wind to drop slightly. She's mentally preparing herself. Now the defending champion coming in here to stay in the competition, really, I suppose. No. Pole comes up again. Here we go. No. She just wasn't quite ready, I don't think, for that. 2 more attempts for the defending champion.
Well, now we're about to have the final event of the heptathlon, and that's how it looks at the moment. Nafi Thiam surely on her way to gold, leading with 5.980. Then the battle on for the silver between Schaefer at 5.808 and Vetter 5.805. So only 3 points. Basically, it's simple. Vetter needs to beat Schaefer if she's going to overtake her. But Schaefer's got a better personal best. Then we have Rodriguez, Johnson, Thompson, Dautic, Visser, Kluchinova, Kendall Williams, Salman Rath, who was a good long jumper earlier today, Krisan, Ruxtur, Ohuan Wanu, Nana Jimu, and we've got at the moment just lost a couple of competitors from the field there. Disappointment for the Americans, I'm afraid, this time. 28 women left in. So they're just getting ready just outside this main stadium on the warm-up track. And Nafi Thiam will be getting ready to go in the last. She came through with a personal best in the long jump and then an excellent javelin throw today. And she's got an almost unassailable lead. She just needs to make sure she gets round, really, almost in this 800 for gold. The favourite, the Olympic champion. And then there's the battle on for the other odds. And then I've been very impressed, really, throughout by the way that Caroline Schaefer has been so consistent. Just look at all those performances. No individual one of outstanding merit, but also nothing that is in any way other than a very competent performance indeed. And then Anouk Vetter, who really came through with a magnificent javelin. It's the 3rd best ever in a heptathlon javelin competition, with 58.41 to move herself up into a prime candidate now for the bronze medal. So those athletes will be going in about 10 minutes time, due off at a little longer actually, 20 minutes. It's due off at 9 o'clock, whereas the first heat will be at, well, they're at sort of 2040, 2050, 2100. They're split into 3 races, and they are seeded according to their current standings in the event.
So we're up and running in Javelin qualification Group B. Ratic of Slovenia waits patiently. 7th in London here at the Olympics 5 years ago. Chasing the 63 meters and 50. Oh, well, that's very good. Wow. I can see why she likes it. She's got a season's best of 64 meters and 85. And with her first round throw, has gone way over 65 meters. 7th, as I mentioned, in London in 2012, 7th at the World Championships in Daegu, and at the European Championships in 2010. That's a job well done. 65 meters and 64, automatic qualifying, first in this qualification Group B. She's through to the final.
So this is the lineup for the first of the 3 races in the heptathlon, and these are the 9 women who are currently standing in 20th to 28th places. So a little bit of a run for honour, a little bit of a run to try and move up the standings a bit. But of course we're building crescendo. The next group race 2, and then the 9 top runners will be in race 3 in 20 minutes time. So let's meet them. We've got Tamara de Souza, not particularly good 800-meter runner. I have to say her personal best at 2:26 is the slowest of the runners in this race. She's lying 23rd overall after the first 6 events. Then we have Sharon Day Monroe, well, rather past her best days, I fear. She's only in 21st place. Now, her personal best is 2:08.94. I wonder if she can go as quick as that now. Georgi Zhivotsky-Farkas, another decent 800 runner, a 2:11 runner. She's in 20th place. That's the best of any of these athletes. 5.135 points. Then we have Erika Bugard of the USA. All the Americans, I'm afraid, have been a little disappointing, and she's one of them, but every chance to go higher because she's possibly the best of the 800 meters runners in this race. Swapna Barman, good experience for the young Indian competitor who's lying in 27th place. Is another athlete who might figure prominently in this race. That's Hannah Moudens of Belgium with the best of 2:11.09 to her credit. South American champion a couple of times. Vanessa Schaeffer, better known as Spinola, actually, her final name. The Brazilian got a best of 2:12. Then we have Isabella Quaresma of Portugal, formerly Sao Tome e Principe, now eligible to compete for Portugal. 2:11.03, she should figure. And then we've got Alisbeth Felix of Puerto Rico. She's lying 26th overall, so a wide range of nations from different continents here. The Americas, Europe, Asia, South America, Central America, all amongst the competitors in this race. The final event of the heptathlon. This is the first of 3 groups. Oh, and stopped already. Chefa Spinola of Brazil, obviously not fit enough to continue because really she made no effort to go anything other than just off the mark. So that leaves just 8 women in the race, and it's a bit of a disparity in standards here now. I didn't expect too much of Souza and Silverado, and she's not really featuring too prominently as they go through 200 meters, 29.47. Well, I don't think they're going to keep up that pace. The leader there taking them through at that pace. As I say, these are not, of course, contenders for the main placings in the race. Erika Bugard of the USA, though, is determined to try to get as good a time as she can. And I mentioned before, she has the best time, 2:08.39, so she's a pretty classy middle distance runner in her own right. And she's got a lead now of some 20 meters over Day Monroe, her American compatriot, and 61.88. I mean, that really is an excellent time for a heptathlon. Fascinating to see whether Bugard can maintain that pace. Best known as a long jumper and a hurdler, was below par in those races, but look at that huge lead she's built up, and no wonder at the pace that she's been setting, in fact. As I say, it's all about scoring points on the tables, and there's a very big gap back to Da Silva, who's almost the length of the back straight down on this leader, Erika Bugard. We've now got Zhivotsky-Farkas of Hungary, who's moved into second place in this race. And Bugard still striding out very strongly. She's going to be rewarded with an excellent time, and I think this should move her up the standings from the current position that she has of 22nd place overall with this very fine 800 meters run. Real battle on amongst the women following her, but Bugard, 2:08.78, not quite a personal best. I was just looking out for that to see whether she could possibly manage that. Day Monroe, her compatriot from the USA, and finishing in second place.
Meanwhile, back at the pole vault, the other end of the stadium, De Silva, her second attempt now. The reigning champion at 4:75. Just Morris and Stefanidi clear at this height so far. Oh no. Well, she's got both knees heavily strapped. She takes her shoes off pretty much straight away as she gets off the pole vault pit. So we'll have to wait and see whether she can get that last vault in. No, she hasn't got the height. It's not a problem with the technique. She just didn't come in with enough, I think, force to get that bar, with enough power to propel her over that bar. Well, Newman coming in now at third attempt at this particular height. And if she clears this, I'm pretty sure it will be a personal best. Before that, 471. Bar going back up.
Indeed, Steve, this for a Canadian record.
It certainly is. And if you're going to break a record or a personal best, why not do it at the World Championships for a chance of a medal? Big ask though, isn't it? As Peter said, she clears this 4 centimetres above a personal best. Oh no. She came down luckily in the pit. She didn't really get the momentum needed to carry her over the bar. But nevertheless, 7th place at the moment for the Canadian.
Joe Kovacs, the defending champion. First round, big roar from the big man. He's got his tracksuit trousers on. Too cold to get those big thighs out. So, the lead at the moment is Tom Walsh, 21.38. Oh yes, bit light on the footwork there. 21.48, that's much better than we saw from Kovacs in qualification.
Bradshaw, last attempt at the 475. 4th and 5th at the last Olympics. Can she come through here? Crowd going wild to get her over. No, well, she hit the height, but not to be. Oh, the crowd really appreciating all the vaulters, but obviously disappointed with Holly Bradshaw, even though she did really well. She's in 6th place at the moment. Watch it again. She's been veering over. Again, there she goes, not centre over the bar. Can't really see from that angle what was the main problem, but she is going sideways over the bar. Technique probably not her best, and she'll be obviously very aware of that, I think. Okay. Brzic. Just putting a little bit of the stuff that they use to, I think it's some sort of resin that they use on the bar to get that grip absolutely solid at the top of the bar. Look how high she's holding that bar. Again, last attempt for her. Again, another personal best, 473 before this. Oh, no. Well, they're getting up to the heights where it's going to be very, very difficult. You've got to get a personal best to go on any further. And that means that we see Brzic departing this competition in 5th place.
Tom Walsh of New Zealand, 21.38 in the first round. What can he do here? He has gone over 22 metres in the last couple of weeks. He veers across to the left, but that is not far shy of the 22-metre line. Now the lead at the moment is Kovacs with 21.48, and Tom Walsh likes that one. He's a tiny little bit off balance towards the left-hand side of the circle there. but he kept himself together and kept the put within the sector. The big man has moved into the lead. 21.64 for the world indoor champion.
So that's the result of heat number 1 of the women's heptathlon. Bugard 208.77, 983 points.
Well, after that first one, we have 2 more races, and here's the lineup. The athletes who are next in the competition order from 11th through to 19th. Shuk, Kacheva, Nanajima Idu, Krisan, Rukstul, Ahu Wanu, Trainer, Agnew and Sadeko. Well, there's a chance for them to make the top 10, of course. There's Krisan introduced the crowd, European under-23 champion a couple of years ago. Nanajima Idu, well, she's got the best credentials of all overall, having won 2 European titles at this discipline, 2 at the indoor pentathlon as well. Kacheva of the Czech Republic, good, decent 800 runner with the best of 2:12.38, 17th overall. And the European junior champion, the youngest competitor in this heptathlon, the 18-year-old from Ukraine, Alina Shuk. Well, before we started with Krisan, we had Rumsdahl outside her, the European junior silver medalist. Ahuwanu Trainer, the European under-23 silver medalist. Agnew, European under-23 champion, and Gritsadiko, a former champion at that event. So a lot of top European competitors. Off they go on their 2 laps of the track. In fact, I see that one athlete not competing there, Trainer, who I just mentioned, who was due to run in lane 7, has been in withdrawal. On the inside, Shuk making a determined effort to make sure she gets into a good position. But Krisan, the Hungarian, in the green there, coming across, and takes up a shade of a lead there. The Benin athlete, Ahuwanu, on the inside behind her. Shuk, handily placed, nicely placed, in 2nd place in this race. 30.40, well, it's a little slower than we saw Bugard go through in that very fine run in the first race. But both Krisan and Shuk looking for good times here, and they're stretching away from the rest of the field. They look much more like middle distance runners than the other athletes who, like Agnew there on the outside, tremendously promising young Swiss athlete, but she's much more of a competitor who excels in the throws. So let's get a 400-meter time. Well, it's pretty handy, 62.78 at that time. And Krisan and Shuk, as I said, looking good and certainly going well clear of the rest of the field. Krisan looking strongest of all. Personal best of 2:10.04. If she can keep up this sort of pace, she could get under 2:10 for the first time in her life. Yong Shuk, best of 2:12.31. Well, she's losing a bit of ground now, tiring naturally at the end of these 2 days of competition. They've been in action throughout the days. A fine run as she passes 600 meters. And then we look back at the next athlete, who was Geraldine Brooks, the 19-year-old Swiss athlete as well, who's leading the charge behind them in 3rd place, but they're really spread out here. And Krisan has another fine run. We saw a fine run from Bugard in the first race of the heptathlon, and we're seeing a very fine run here. She looks a very competent middle distance runner. And can she beat 2:10 for the first time? That's the target, then surely she's going to do it. She's smashed her personal best, 2:07.18. Well, what a time to do that. Unfortunately, Shuk has completely run out of gas and is finishing in 4th place, just past there. They're all collapsing to the line there. Oh, what a painful way to finish. Rukstul, in fact, got up for 2nd, and just behind her was Kacheva. But a very fine run indeed for Krisan, 2:07.17.
Rajtic now, her final attempt at 4:75. Oh, not a bad effort, but not quite a personal best at 4:73. So, as I said earlier, these athletes now have got to clear personal best to get any higher, I think. Very, very difficult. Bernardo. coming in at this, what would be another national record, 475. Oh, not bad. Wow, at the moment, she's in 4th place. Sorry, 3rd place on countback. Wow. Just see now what Grizzly Silva can do. This is her last attempt. The reigning champion coming in. Oh, it's close, but not close enough. So I think now she's equal 3rd with Bernardo. And we're down now just to 2. What a competition this has been.
Stipe Zunic, 21.01. He's in 5th at the moment. Oh, yes! Listen to the roar. He gets the white flag. Zunic just missed the medal at the Europeans a few years ago. He's a former world junior champion kickboxer. He has gone 21.48. That was earlier this season. Oh, and he's only just a couple of centimetres shy of his lifetime best. He moves up to 3rd.
There is the result of the second race in the heptathlon. A brilliant run, getting over 1,000 points there for Chrysan, 207.17, winning by a huge margin from Rookstool and Kacheva and Shook, whose legs gave out in the closing moments of that race. So now we come to the conclusion of the heptathlon, where the best athletes, the best 9, are going to enter the arena. Here they come then. First of all, it's Kendall Williams, who will run in the outside lane. No less than 6 national collegiate titles in the USA. She's at the University of Georgia. Oh, sorry, that was Mrs. Williams now, of course. Just introducing her in the wrong order. Now it's Kluchinova, who's lying in 8th place. It was Salmon Rose, who was 10th. Williams, who was 9th. Now we have Nadine Visser coming out, who's 7th overall. 3rd in the World Juniors. European Under-23 champion at the hurdles. And she was the fastest hurdler in this race. We now have the athlete lying 6th. 3rd in the European Championships last year, Ivana Dadic from Austria. 5th will be Katrina Johnson-Thompson. A better day after her disappointment yesterday in the high jump, but nonetheless she's out of medal contention, which she should do well. And a big roar, of course, for Johnson-Thompson. 6th in the Olympic Games last year, and every chance of probably moving up a place or 2 from that. Yuriades Rodriguez, who again excelled in the high jump yesterday, a former world junior champion. Now we come to the 3 athletes in medal contention. Anouk Vetter from the Netherlands, not a very good 800-meter runner, European champion. The super consistent Caroline Schaefer from Germany, former world junior and European junior champion, 5th in the Olympics. And now we meet the Olympic champion, a brilliant competitor, Nafi Thiam. She's doing it again today. Personal best in the long jump, and then a very fine javelin throw. She's pretty much assured of the gold medal, but we've just got to make sure she can complete it round with that huge lead that Thiam's got of 172 points. Schaefer and Vetter fighting it out for the other medals, because I think they're far too far ahead of the other competitors.
Santee Morris, just one of the 2 competitors left in this competition now, coming in at a new height, 482. This will be a personal best for her if she can clear it as well. The American goes up. Oh, but no. 2 more attempts. She's vying for gold or silver here. Looking across at a coach. World indoor and Olympic silver medalist. Having another fight with her nemesis, really. Stefanidi, and here she is, the Olympic champion, on count back from Morris, coming in, her first attempt, 4.82. Oh, yes! Oh, clattered it a little bit, but it stayed on. Woof, yeah. Wow. Now that moves her into a commanding position here. She's cleared the height, and now Morris has got just 2 attempts. Oh. Wow. She looks up, she was holding her hands up as if to say, stay up there, stay up there. Well, I suppose Morris has now got the choice of whether to go at this height again or move it up higher.
There are the athletes then preparing to do battle in this final event. We saw Williams, now we've got Visser and Kluchinova sharing a lane. They're in 7th and 8th places respectively in the standings at the moment. Looking out for who's the best 800-meter runner. We'll meet them in a moment. Salman Ruth and Johnson Thompson is the answer to that question. And here is Salman Ruth. Now she's run 2:05.54 for 800 meters. That's the quickest in the lineup. And she'll be hoping to move up therefore from her 10th place overall. Ivona Dadic then. Masses of personal best last year in the European Championships in Amsterdam. 2:10.67 at this event. And Johnson Thompson, who showed yesterday all her speed and pace on the track with a brilliant win in the 200 meters, and she's good at 800 as well, 2:07.64. Lourdes Rodriguez, a 2:12 athlete. She lies in 4th place, 1 place ahead of Johnson Thompson. The order might be reversed though. Anouk Vetter, well, this isn't her good event. 2:17.71 her personal best, but she is in 3rd place and should do enough to be able to hold on to that. Whereas Caroline Schaefer looks a pretty good bet at the moment for the silver medal, and just have to see how it pans out. 2:14.1, and Tiam, who we didn't rate as a terribly good 800-meter runner, but 2:20 best in Rio, and then she took 5 seconds off it just to show her competitive zeal for personal best in Rio, and she's heading for a score of probably 4.860, that sort of thing, is a 6.860 rather, is the sort of point score I would look for her, a little short of her recent 7,000. Well, off they go after grueling 2 days of the heptathlon, I should say, and already Schaefer is showing quite well on the inside, but on those outside lanes. And looking for Salman Ruth, and here comes the German coming across now. She's the fastest in the field. Johnson Thompson also coming across neatly from the 5th station order there. And you can already see that the gaps are building up all right as we pan through the field here. Claudia Salman Ruth of Germany. Trina Johnson-Thompson, Great Britain. They're really motoring along, but the battle we must keep an eye on, because the battle between Vetter and Schaefer is all important. And Schaefer is, well, you can see in the picture there, about 5 meters ahead of Vetter is the back of that field. 60.58. Again, it's a very good time from a classy 800-meter runner with Salman Ruth leading. But Tiam biding her time, second from the back there with Vetter. But both of those look pretty certain to get a medal, even if they're not going to figure in the major placings in this particular race. There they are, right at the right of the screen now. Vetter coming up on Tiam's shoulder, and they're likely to get medals. But look at the gap between the top runners here. Oh, excellent increase in points, of course. Could be worth almost well, 150 or so points gap here, and it's Salman Ruth and Johnson Thompson being urged on by the crowd. Tremendous roars from the crowd to support the British athlete, who's got every chance of moving up in the standings. There they are, Salman Ruth and Johnson Thompson, and they're coming in for a terrific performance here in this race. There's some tired legs though coming through, and It is first across the line, Salman Ruth, second Johnson Thompson, finishing there with Salman Ruth, a magnificent effort, 2:07.37. But we can look further back down the field. She's just jogging in. She's coming in last place. Schaefer's finished, and now Nafi Tiam has finished. Well, we'll take a check on the points, but she's the gold medalist for sure. And that's the traditional picture at the end of a multi-event. We've seen it so many times. Really tired athletes there, collapsed all over the track. Tiam didn't need to work too hard in order to make sure, of course, that she got round and got enough points to go ahead. Salman Ruth time 2:07.37. Johnson Thompson close to her best, 2:08.10. Then Rodriguez running really well, 2:10.48. Translate that into points very shortly. But we were looking to see whether Vetter could possibly overtake Schaefer. Well, she couldn't. In fact, she finished about 4 seconds behind. So it's Schaefer who's going to take the silver medal here. And it's all too much for some of them at the end of these hard days of competition. But the Olympic champion, Nafi Tiam, is all smiles. She's on her feet. Vetter looks up to see what she's done as well. So the result just coming through now. Leave it for the caption to show you the final point standings. But I know it was almost impossible for her to be beaten. But Nafi Tiam is once again the champion.
Well, it's a wonderful couple of days, isn't it, by the Belgian athletes. Olympic gold, as you say, Peter, last year in Rio, and with 6,784 points, she's now the world champion. And Schaefer, Caroline Schaefer, as you say, she can't control the emotion, and a world silver medal for the German athlete with, as you say, a really consistent performance over the 7 events. And Vetter picks up the bronze for the Netherlands as well. Well, we talk about future stars in track and field with the retirement of a certain Usain Bolt. Nafi Tiam, young, talented, and with gold medals.
Well, Santee Morris now comes in at the height of 4:89, a monstrous personal best if she can get there. She's passed up the height of 4:82 to put the challenge to Stefanidi. If she goes clear at this, it will be not only a major setback for Stefanidi, but it will be a monstrous clearance, a personal best by a magnificent one, but she doesn't do it. Silver medal then for Morris. Well, she gambled it all, and it may have just been too much, really. That's a massive increase in her personal best, almost 10 centimetres above it. So it wasn't to be. Stefanidi coming across and congratulating her. Well, Stefanidi has won the competition now. She's asking the officials to maybe put the height up to maybe a World Championship record. Just wait and see. Going back to 3rd place, that will be shared by Silva and Pineda. But the silver medal to USA in the women's pole vault. There it is, there's Yaroslav Silva.
Tom Walsh, he is in cracking form, and he's in the lead, courtesy of 21.64. He has gone over 22 metres numerous times in the last month. That's very close. This is a really consistent series for the Olympic bronze medalist. 21.38, 21.64. He's in command at the moment, and we still are yet to see the fireworks from Ryan Krause. American out of the medal positions at the moment. Tom Walsh does increase his lead by 11 centimetres. Joe Kovacs, the defending champion, in silver medal position at the moment. Well, that's close. We've just seen Tom Walsh throw the put out to 21.75. The previous lead was 21.64. This is close from the defending champion, the Olympic silver medalist. His face bulging with the effort. Oh, it's an improvement. 21.66. He would have got in the lead if Walsh had not just launched it out to 21.75, turning out to be a good duel between the two big men. But what can Ryan Krauser produce? And such emotion at the end of that heptathlon. Great to see how much it means to all of them.
Yes, lovely scenes there, and Schaefer, who should have known really that she was heading for silver medal, but nonetheless the reality of it has really struck now. Thiam, throughout this competition, has always looked likely to take the gold medal, but you can never quite tell with a multi-event. Just one mistake in one event can cost you dear. So let's have a look at the results of that last 800-meter race. 1,003 points for that brilliant run by Claudia Salmon-Rath, 2:07.37. Johnson Thompson getting close to her best. Personal best for Rodriguez as well. And that's the full results, except for one runner. Don't make any notice of the time, really. She only needed to jog round. 2:21.42 for Thiam, but she still is the gold medal after a brilliant couple of days of action. There it is, 6.784 points. The gold goes to Nafi Thiam of Belgium. The silver with 6.696 points to Caroline Schaefer of Germany. And the bronze with a national record 6.636 for the Netherlands from Anouk Vetter, and Jorgelis Rodriguez got close with a Cuban record 6.594. Johnson Thompson, national record also for Dadic, then Visser, then Salmon-Rath, then Krisan. A very fine standard indeed, with 10 women over 6,300 points on the whole of that page, and 3 more, 21 athletes over 6,000 points. Brilliant competition. And, well, I'm sure we've all thoroughly enjoyed watching it over 2 action-packed days. There they all are, the traditional ends of a multi-event competition.
Well, I'll come back to the pole vault. This woman's already won the event. Stefanidi now going at 4.91. This will give her the 4th best jump of all time if she does it. And she has! Wow, what a big jump that was! Wow, she failed at the previous height of 4.90.89. She talked to the judges and said, I want it to go up 4.91. That particular jump, as I said, puts her 4th on the all-time list with silver of Cuba, we saw previously in this competition. Only 3 other bolters in the history have ever gone higher. Isn't able, will you expect that? Morris of the United States and Sir of the United States. What a way to win a World Championships. Talking to the coach. Wow. Let's just wait and see what the next height is, but we're asking a lot really, aren't we?
Well, Stefanidi has lit up the field, and now we have 3 semi-finals to light up the track. Over 800 metres before the women's 100-metre final brings the action to a close. This is the lineup for the first of the 3 semi-finals in the men's 800. Nigel Amos, the full man this year. He'll start in lane 6. Absolutely loaded, this one. Kevin Lopez, semi-finalist here in London and in Moscow and Beijing. He starts on the outside. Adam Schott, such a fine tactical athlete, getting himself poised and ready. Silver medalist in Beijing. He knows he's good enough to make the final. Brilliant performer indoors. And what about the reception that this fellow will get? Elliot Giles, European bronze medalist last year. Inside 145 for the first time this season. He will have to go some. And how great to see Nigel Amos, the Olympic silver medalist from London, back to form after being ravaged by injuries. Wins in Paris, here in London and in Rabat. He is in top form. Isaiah Harris, second in the US Championships. Second in the heats, looked really sharp. Ferguson Rotich just missed a medal in Beijing. Won the diamond race for the whole of the season last year. Abdelassam Ayouni of Tunisia in 3, 7th in the African Championships over 1500 a couple of years ago. And on the inside, Guy Lim on. So 2 Britons in this one. He too getting a good reception from the crowd, twice a UK indoor champion. Really tough qualification here, only the first 2. Ferguson Rotich in 4, but Nigel Amos in 6 is the form man and one of the favourites for gold in the absence of Rhodesia. So who's going to take this one out? Watch out for Schott. He is so good when it comes to tactical awareness. But it's Ayouni, the tall figure from Tunisia, who decided to go straight to the front. Amos is on his shoulder, Lopez on the outside as Ferguson Rotich comes through on the inside. There's a little bit of bumping and barging, and Isaiah Harris had his stride checked there as Amos cut across him on the inside to third.
He certainly did. Well, it was a fast first 200 metres, but they've slowed somewhat now. Rotich just languishing out there in front. And you can see just behind, Amos just settling in the light blue vest. Very fast finisher. Schott, again, coming from the back as we expect from him for a last 400 metres. The time at the bow, not very fast at all, almost 53 seconds.
Ferguson Rotich leads. Ayouni in second. Lopez is blocked on the inside. Amos coming wide. Harris and Schott trying to get up onto the shoulder of Giles with Lim on at the back. Only the first 2, and look at Adam Schott, so aggressive. There's a lot of bumping and barging going on there, and Nigel Amos got blocked. He had to come round the back of Harris, one of the big favourites. There's all sorts going on here. Adam Schott is such a wily campaigner, he really is. Now it's Amos coming up onto the shoulder of Rotich. Schott trying to hang on. This is good from Nigel Amos. He's come through a really tricky semi-final. Schott and Amos, and Rotich will have to wait and see if he goes through. Harris was 4th. There was a lot of barging going on there. Fair play. Adam Schott got himself out of trouble, and Amos needed the form to dig himself out, because a couple of times in that 800 he was checked badly, and it was only his pace round the bend that got him out of jail. Yeah, he's a class act really, Amos, but he got himself into all sorts of problems. Adam Schott, though, that's the way to run a race. Just take control when you have to over the back straight, come through and hold them all up down the home straight. Well, was a bit bunching and bit pushing going on there, but when you go through the first lap in 53 seconds, that means that everybody in that race is so close. Schott running well, though. Coming off that bend, he just dug deep and kept it going. Remember, it's only 2 through by right, so it's a pretty cutthroat situation here to make the final. Amos coming through, as we said, after being bunched and pushed and shoved, getting himself boxed and doing everything wrong. He actually comes through and gets second place. So good on him, really. The class man in the field, really not really displaying his experience or his talent, but he actually still gets through. After so many tough years of injury, it is really good to see Amos coming back to top form. And in the absence of Rhodesia, the man he came home behind here in this stadium for silver 5 years ago, Amos arguably the favourite, but Schott, a very, very sharp racer when it comes to his tactics. He rarely gets it wrong. Wild-looking eyes from the Polish European champion. He will be up for that final. He had a much smoother passage through that race than Amos, who had to work quite hard. But the pole of the Botswanan are there. Rotich and Harris will have to wait to see if they can go through as fastest losers, but with 1:46 plus change, not sure.
So the athletes will be out on the warm-up track for the women's 100-metre final. Elaine Thompson from Jamaica. She'll start in lane number 6 in the final. Daphne Schippers, she'll be on the outside in lane number 9, the world 200-meter champion. Michelle Lee IE from Trinidad and Tobago. It really is, as you'd expect, a wonderful field. Kellyanne Baptiste, she'll line up next to her teammate Michelle Lee IE in lane number 2. IE will be in 3. Well, wrapping up against the elements, Tori Bowie of the USA.
I think.
Always ready to rock and roll. 3 medals at the Olympics last year in Rio. Well, Rosangela Santos from Brazil, what a semi-final she had. And she'll be slap bang in the middle of the action in the centre lane of the women's 100-metre final. Muriel Ajore, under 11 seconds. 2 athletes from the Ivory Coast. Ajore, and there's your second, Talu. Brilliant qualifying for the final. So that's to come shortly, but back in the stadium in the field.
Joe Kovacs, the defending champion, in second place. He's getting closer to that 22-metre line, but that was a foul. So it's Zunic of Croatia in third. Kovacs is in second with 21.66. And New Zealand's Tom Walsh leads. Here he is. It's been a really consistent card so far. Looking for a big one. Oh, yes. Quick footwork there from the big man. Up until recently, has spent 30 hours a week working as a builder. And he says that has really helped him with his core strength. A hugely popular figure in New Zealand. And after the disappointment of the New Zealand pole vaulter Eliza McCartney going out early in the final earlier on, New Zealand aspirations for a medal with Walsh. It's another good put, but not quite as long as his leading effort from round 3. Adam Schott, Nigel Amos safely through. Rotich and Harris will have to wait and see.
Well, a quick look at the start list here. You can see a disappointment there. Theeman Coopers of Netherlands is not taking part. That's a disappointment because he looked very good in winning his heat. But let's go through from the outside. Lewandowski of Poland, 30 years old now, but very, very good and a lot of experience in those legs. On the inside of him, 25-year-old Drew Windle of the United States. Third in his heat, 1:46. And then on the inside of him, Brendan McBride. Second in Monte Carlo this year. He was second in his heat, looked pretty good actually cruising through towards the end there, but it might be a little bit harder this time round in the semi-finals. And then the big man to watch, Emmanuel Correa. From 1:46 to 1:43 this year. Well, he can't be better than that. He's got really good 400-metre speed, 44 plus. Gakemi on the inside of him for Burundi, world silver medalist indoors. And then in lane 3, Ibrahim Al-Zafari of Kuwait, the Asian champion. And then on the inside of him, obviously, the local favourite, and the crowd will obviously give this man a big cheer. Carl Langford, 2015 European champion, just 21 years of age. Well, he's on the stage and he's got a big chance to really go here. Just 2 to qualify. We just saw that from the previous semi-final. Their break over the back straight. All eyes on Correa. Always gets the slow start, this man, but comes very hard after that. Gakemi on the inside of him going well. They're all going well, really, apart from Korea, who's dropping very quickly off the back of the field, but that's not unexpected for some of the Kenyans. That's exactly what they do. Coming across from the outside, I think it is McBride of Canada in the all-black strip. He likes to lead. He's a lovely, fluid runner, and that's exactly what he's doing. Korea really had to make up a lot of ground there to come into second place, but at the moment, it's a pretty fast race. This is good. McBride knows what he's got to do, and he's doing just that. Leading from the front, we could get 4 from this heat.
Well, he's giving himself a chance, isn't he, Steve? Because the 2 fastest loser spots are 1:46. And this is nice and rapid as they head towards the bell. 50 points.
2 seconds faster than that first semi-final. So McBride is pulling it hard, and the throttle is down. Just behind him, you can see Korea. Just behind him, the little figure of the Burundi athlete, Gakemi. Also, the crowd getting quite excited. Langford is also there in 4th place, but they're stretching out in front at the moment. McBride is really pulling away just behind him. Korea is hanging on. Remember, just 2 to qualify. Lewandowski coming through. But there are a big gap now between these 2 and the others. They really got to start claiming that 4 or 5 metre back now. McBride, will he tire coming down the home straight? He's run almost solo all the way. Korea just behind him. Lewandowski coming hard. McBride is still there. Korea is still there. Coming hard also, Langford of Great Britain. Lewandowski and Langford. Are they going to go past Korea? They are. Who's going to get that second place? It's Langford getting it. McBride is first. Langford of Great Britain gets that all-important second place. What a run from him. From nowhere, from 200 metres, he came right round everybody. The winning time, 1:45.53, faster than that first heat. So some of those athletes might still go through if that 3rd semi-final is not fast. But all credit to this man, Langford. He came from nowhere to get that second place. And even more credit to this man who ran gun to tape, McBride of Canada. A great run from him.
2 brave performances from the men in 1st and 2nd. And look how far behind Kyle Langford was. He was in 5th place at the moment. Now, Emmanuel Korea, who's had a fantastic season over in the States, completely ties up here. We knew Lewandowski would probably come home quite quickly. Langford there. Lewandowski is in a fastest loser spot at the moment. What a performance from the Brit in 2nd.
Well, what a competition. This is a 3rd attempt at 5:02, putting a 2nd on the all-time list if she can do it. No. Well, I suppose it ends in failure, or does it? I don't think so for this woman. A new record, a new national record, obviously, putting her on the 4th on the all-time list.
Just one quick note on that. The reason she went from 4:89 and chose 4:91 is that she has done 4:90 indoors, so it was an absolute best for her.
Well, Stefanidi now takes the world title along with the Olympic title she has. There it is. World-leading performance, as Peter says, 4:91, marvellous jump. Santee Morris just behind that, 4:75, and then equal 3rd, Bernardo and Silva for that bronze position. But a national record for the Venezuelan. Wonderful, wonderful performance in the women's pole vault.
Well, the music rings round. There's your medalist in the pole vault. Rob Walker looking for some plates to smash. In celebration of Stefanidi's Greek gold.
Well, we better go to a Greek restaurant tonight. We'll get well served. I think we'll probably get double portions, Rob. What do you think?
Without a shadow of a doubt. And what a way to do it as well. 4:91. She didn't just sneak that gold. She absolutely smashed it.
Well, it's Greece's first medal. They'll enjoy that one.
What a great run there from Carl Langford in 2nd place to come through to qualify, but also another great run from McBride of Canada. career, though. Well, what a disappointment from him. 1:46.08. I don't think he's going to qualify as yet. We'll have to wait and see on that third semi-final.
Well, a brilliant pole vault competition. Ryan Krauser, though, who was the overwhelming favourite for gold, has got a problem here. He is down with just 2 attempts left. Well, I'm just not sure what's going on for Krauser. He had a massive attempt in the 3rd round that was just fouled. He got the red flag. In all but one of his 8 competitions so far this year, he has gone in excess of 22 metres. He knows he is capable of so much more than he's producing here. It is an improvement, but Krauser is going to have to do it the hard way in the last round. One final chance. What a contrast, Krauser's card in comparison to Tom Walsh's. He threw 22.14 in qualifying. Another one like that would surely lay down the marker. Very, very consistent series from Walsh. The Olympic bronze medalist, the world indoor champion, is 1 round away from becoming the world outdoor champion. And there will be great excitement for him back home in New Zealand. He comes from Tamaru on the South Island, same place as Jack Lovelock, Olympic 1500-metre champion way back when in 1936. Even too long ago for Ovett to remember watching.
Now, but I read his book. Yes, well done, Rob. You're impressing me with the historical side of your background there.
Back in 2017, we've got the 3rd semi-final of the men's 800 metres. Here's your lineup. De Arriba of Spain, European indoor bronze medalist this year. He'll occupy lane number 9. Kramer of Sweden, the new European under-23 champion, down from 147 to 145 already in this World Championship season. The 20-year-old in sparkling form. Pierre-Ambroise Boss of France. Well, there was some doubt about his participation in these championships with a hip injury, but he's getting himself back into good shape. Inside of Boss in 7 will be Bet of Kenya, the world junior champion, still a junior this season, just 19 years old, 144.04 this year. In 5, Tiago Andre of Brazil, 4th at both the 8 and the 1500 metres at the World Junior Championships 2014. Now an exciting talent in lane number 4, the 20-year-old Donovan Brazier. He likes a fast pace, Brazier, the US champion this year. Lane number 3, Mohamed Aman of Ethiopia, a world champion in 2013, twice a world indoor champion. 3 seconds off his best, though, this season, 142 in 2013. Romez of Poland, European under-23 bronze medalist at 1500 metres this year. So, first 2, as you know, from the first 2 semi-finals. It's the first 2 that go through to the final on Tuesday. They're the current non-automatic qualifiers. So the last shot there was of Donovan Brazier of the United States. He'll start in lane number 4. Remember, he favours a fast pace, the American. So we'll see how he's going to run this one. Aman going well. And they're going to break with Aman deciding to go wide instead of on the inside line. But here we go. Kramer of Sweden, and it's Bet the Kenyan, 24.22 at 200 metres. So they know they've got to keep it swift, they know they have to make it swift, and it's Bet that's controlling it at the front at the moment.
Yeah, he's going through, not that fast. Boss behind him, though, is just languishing there. Andre on the outside, Aman tucked in on the inside. Not a good place for him if it's a slow race. Let's just wait and see. It's going to be about 51, 52. Yeah, there it is, 51 and a half. So it's reasonable. but it's going to be a bit of a scramble over the last lap for this lot. They're all there together. Bet leading, Boss there. Andre coming through. Aman, though, really the class act in this field, touching the inside there where he should not be at this stage.
So Aman's trapped on the inside, Bet's controlling it, Boss from France. Andre's poised on the outside for Brazil. Brady's got some work to do here, the American. The American champion tucked in on the inside like Aman, but Bet took control of this race. He was happy to go to the front of the Kenyans, trying to stretch it out in his third and final semi-final. Just the top two guaranteed a place. Bet extends his lead. Aman currently in second. It's going to be the Kenyan leading home the Ethiopian. 1:45.03. Well, Bet of Kenya, the 19-year-old, took it by the scruff of the neck and automatically qualifies.
Last chance for the 7th best shot putter in history. He is down and out of the medals. He has dominated the circuit the entire season. This his last chance to make an impact. The Olympic champion in all sorts of trouble here. No. What on earth has happened for Ryan Krause here in London? He has been throwing 22 meters plus for fun through the entire season, and it has all unraveled here for the Olympic champion.
I was expecting him to come late into this competition, Rob. Remember, Olympic record was broken in the 5th round last year when he took the title, but he never got going, did he, the American this evening?
Huge disappointment there. Stanic of the Czech Republic, 21.41. He needs 21.46 to move up into a medal position. Big roar. Well, it's good, but he knows he too is capable of more. He's gone over 22 meters this season. Coach's face says it all. Zunic is in 3rd spot with 21.46. Just watching and waiting. The agony of coming so close to the podium. No. So Stanic just misses out. Zunic has the bronze. Can he challenge the lead of Tom Walsh? No. It's almost running out to collect it. Good to see Zunic with a sense of humour. Former world junior champion at kickboxing. Tell you what, I wouldn't mess. He has got the bronze medal. That is the biggest performance of his career by far. Huge for the Croatian. So, 2 men left to put. Zunic has the bronze. Big embrace. Only one man can deny Tom Walsh the world title, and it's the defending champion. Oh yes! Oh yes! But he gets the red flag. He is apoplectic with rage. That was 22 meters, and he is not happy. Tom Walsh leads with 21.75. Kovacs, the defending champion, who has thrown 22.57 this season, the 9th best putter of this event. Well, any hint that he brushed the top of that white board very, very, very close. He's prowling round like a madman. As it stands at the moment, that's it. He's in the silver medal position. So Tom Walsh has the luxury of knowing it doesn't matter what he does here. He is the world champion. Oh, yes. Looks like it could be his best put of the night. A huge smile on the big man's face. The world indoor champion is the world outdoor champion. He upgrades from his bronze in Rio to gold here in London. And it's the best put of the night. We've got the official measurement up here. It's over 22 metres. He came here with form, he came here with belief, and he has delivered New Zealand's first medal. And it's the first time a New Zealand man has ever been on the podium in this event. He was fourth 2 years ago. He's going home with gold from London. These big men do like each other. Kovacs, the defending champion, silver this time. Zunic, the bronze. And what on earth happened to Ryan Krauser? Out of the medals for the Olympic champion. But Big Walshy will be the toast of New Zealand tonight. He can certainly move for a big man. Wow. Great celebrations, great scenes for Tom Walsh. The world indoor champion is the world outdoor champion. Kovacs, the defending champion, silver this time. Zunic, the bronze. No place on the podium for Krauser, the Olympic champion. Stahl, the two-time world champion, down in 10th. Great win there for the New Zealander.
So confirmation of the result of the third semi-final in that men's 800 metres. Bet and Iman through automatically. And you see the small cues there because Boss and Andre from France and Brazil have gone through as the non-automatic qualifiers. So like all the events at this World Championships, set up wonderfully well for that men's 800 metres. So, qualification summary of the women's javelin throw. Spatakova there, the world record holder, through nicely with a 64 metres and 32. Rataj, Molitor, the two Chinese athletes, also going through to the final. And Glidel and Kahaladovic of Belarus also made it through to the women's javelin throw. That final one to look forward to as the athletes make their way from warm-up track to call room to the stadium. The women's 100-metre final. The last action here on this Sunday evening.
Just been slightly delayed and will shortly join us.
Such fast qualification from the semi-final to the final. The lady at the back walking out. Elaine Thompson looking for her first world title. Well, the crowd being entertained. Music blaring out. And the Jamaican flags are draped absolutely everywhere around the stadium this evening, just like they were last night for the men's 100-metre final. They're back in force to support their golden girl. So the athletes being put in order for the big entrance. So many of these athletes have done battle before at major championships. And once again, they'll line up in this women's 100-metre final here in London. Look at concentration from Daphne Schippers.
is starting to build now for the final race of the night.
The final of the women's 100 metres.
The women's 100 metres final.
World lead, Elaine Thompson from Jamaica, 10.71 seconds. So first up will be the athlete who'll start in lane number 2. Trinidad and Tobago's Kelly Ann Baptiste. 10.88 seconds this season, just 4/100 shy of her lifetime best. Tori Bowie of the USA. She'll pop into lane number 7. From the Netherlands, Daphne Schippers, a world champion over the 200 metres. Michelle Lee I.E. from Trinidad and Tobago, their second representative in this final. Rosangela Santos from Brazil, outstanding in the semi-finals, under the 11-second barrier. Muriel Ahore from the Ivory Coast. Silver medalist 4 years ago. 10.78 at her best. Marie-José Talou, also from the Ivory Coast. Double representation for them, like Trinidad and Tobago. The Olympic champion. Elaine Thompson of Jamaica. 10.70 seconds last year, the 5th fastest of all time. So the blocks are placed, the fans are poised, and the fans are ready. Elaine Thompson, the Olympic champion. Unbeaten in finals over 100 metres this year. She got 4 Diamond League wins. The 25-year-old looking to add her name onto the list of Jamaican women who've won this title. The first Jamaican gold in 2007 with Veronica Campbell-Brown, and then Shelly-Ann Fraser-Price, the defending champion, has won this title for Jamaica 3 times. We wish her well with the birth of her first child. She'll be watching on, I'm sure, to see if Elaine Thompson can bring it home again for Jamaica.
Catherine, I think from what she's produced so far this season, 10.71 compared to her PB of 10.70, I think there's something very, very special in the offing this evening. It is a fraction cold, but she has looked so, so good, and she's out in a class of her own. Top quality qualification with so many women ducking inside 11 seconds. And is this the day that Talou gets on the podium? She has had a great season. She's rounding into top form. But surely, if Thompson gets away, as she has done in the heat and the semi-final, she will be absolutely flying. But how great it would be for African sprinting if Talou was able to get on the podium and join Thompson in a great celebration of sprinting. We're certainly in for a dramatic climax to the 3rd night. It wasn't gold for Jamaica last night. I think it will be this evening.
And there is Talou, double 4th place at the Olympics last year. Daphne Schippers representing the Netherlands, representing Europe in this World Championship final. She'll start on the outside in lane number 9. So everything in the 2017 season, everything in any major championship season, comes down to one race, one competition. That's your lineup then for the women's 100-metre final. Baptiste Ayi, Talou Santos, Thompson, Bowie, Ahore and Schippers. That's that's the view that Elaine Thompson's going to have over the next 10.8 or 9 seconds. But they're poised and they're ready for the final track action here on this evening. The nice smile then from Kellyanne Baptiste, Trinidad and Tobago, bronze in 2011. 10.88 seconds, her season's best. Also from Trinidad and Tobago, Michelle Lee IE, 6 in the 1 and the 200 meters in Rio last year. 10.82 seconds at her best. Lane 4, Marie-Josée Talou of the Ivory Coast. Just missed those medals in Rio last year. Is it her time to step on a podium? Lane 5, Rosângela Santos of Brazil. 10.91 seconds in the semi-finals. Lane number 6. The fastest woman in the world, Elaine Thompson from Jamaica. In lane number 7, the silver medalist in Rio last year. Over this distance, Tori Bowie from the USA. 10.78 seconds at her best. She looks relaxed. She looks good to go. Lane number 8, Muriel Ahore, took silver at these championships 4 years ago for the Ivory Coast. 10.78 at her best. And completing the lineup, the former heptathlete Daphne Schippers, the World 200-meter champion when she broke the European record in the World Championships 2 years ago over double this distance. The final of the women's 100 meters. Baptiste IE, Talou Santos, Thompson, Bowie, Ahore and Schippers. Can the Olympic champion become the world champion? So it's a good start. It's a pretty even start as well. At the moment, Talou of the Ivory Coast in lane number 4 is running well. Talou's going to take this. Oh, but Tori Bowie on the line. Well, 10.84 seconds. Marie-Josée Talou of the Ivory Coast. Missed the podium twice last year in Rio. But did Tori Bowie do enough? It's come up, Tori Bowie, 10.85 seconds. The American is the world champion.
Well, that looked very tight on the line. I think many people here thought Talou had done that. And what an upset. Elaine Thompson out of the medals. Not the gold, not the silver or the bronze. She's in 5th. Schippers has been given the nod for the bronze with 10.96. Talou got away brilliantly here, and Elaine Thompson was under pressure. Talou clearly ahead here. Watch Bowie coming now. 3rd from the left-hand side. Talou holding form, and she did it on the dip.
She had the momentum. Tori Bowie, the American, had the momentum and the perfect lean. The torso there on the photo finish is where they pull it back to. And as you said, Rob, Bowie, Talou and Schippers. Elaine Thompson, it'll be interesting to see if we get a head-on shot there. Her transition, in sprinting terms, I mean the transition from when you push out the blocks and stand up and start running at about 30 meters. It looked like Elaine Thompson had a bit of a stumble, but she was never in that race, finishing 5th in 10.98 seconds, the Jamaican. The first 5 athletes under the 11-second barrier. But Tori Bowie, well, 3 medals last year in Rio over the sprint events, including the relay, and now the world champion for the USA.
Well, what a turnaround for the Jamaicans in the sprints, really. That's another disappointment for them, really. But having said that, Bowie, terrific run from her. I thought that Talou, before the start, I thought that Talou was in with a chance. Rob thought that maybe Thompson was going to dominate this race, but Ta Lou has been running really, really well all through this year. And I think her 400-metre strength over the last part of the race, Peter, was going to be something I think which played into it.
Well, certainly, I'm not surprised by either Bowie or Ta Lou running as quick as they did. I am amazed by Elaine Thompson not being able to produce it. Today, we've had two of the biggest favourites for titles here, and neither even getting a medal. Both Ryan Krauser and Elaine Thompson, no medal. I would scarcely believe that.
And also, when you look at the season Daphne Skippers has had, not going inside 10.95. She's nearest the camera. She came through for the bronze, only one place behind where she finished 2 years ago. That is incredible. Elaine Thompson ran, what was it, 10.9s in flats earlier this year, 10.71 earlier on in Jamaica. She was flying coming into this. But how pleased are we from a neutral's point of view for Ta Lou, running two really quick times over the 1 and 2 in Rio last year and missing out on a medal in both. Not so this time. She's got the World Championship silver.
Well, great for the universality of the sport, isn't it? The way the major honours are shared around so many countries, and this is yet another example. She ran absolutely brilliantly, but Bowie's, she fell to the track, of course, but her dip was all important. But Thompson, I'd be fascinated to hear from her any views of what was the problem here, because I think there is a problem.
Well, there has to be. You know, she ran here at the Diamond League meeting in London just, say, 3 weeks ago. Wasn't happy with the spikes, so ran in virtually flat with just a couple of spikes on the bottom and ran 10.9 into a -1.5 metre wind. So, and we saw what she was like in qualifying. It will be interesting to see if there is a reason. She's just untidy here. There's no smoothness. She's not flowing in any shape or form, the Jamaican.
Watching that replay, obviously, of the finish there, we're just seeing another shot of Thompson. She's looking strained and not fluid. Very, very tight. And as Peter said, maybe there is a reason for it, but we've yet to find out, really.
But such a difference. I was going to say before the race, she is such a beautifully aesthetically pleasing runner, and this was not a beautiful aesthetically pleasing run.
The other thing I'd just like to mention, I think Rob and I were watching that replay of the finish there. Ta Lou didn't dip. She just ran through the line. I think because she didn't realise that Bowie was coming up on far on her right there. She couldn't see her until the last minute. I think she thought she had it. She never dipped. Bowie was dipping literally 2 or 3 paces before the line, and when she fell, that momentum carried her through.
Yep, time to perfection for the American. 10.85 seconds. Tori Bowie, the world champion in a season's best. Marie-José Ta Lou, well, a personal best and a silver medal for her and Daphne Skippers of the Netherlands. Well, she picks up the bronze in that women's 100 metres.
Well, a lot of crowds still here. Fortunately, we have the medal ceremony for the women's heptathlon. It really would be unfair to call them back on another day. In fact, they need a rest after their exertions over 2 days. And it really was a very fine competition indeed. There was really not much doubt throughout who was going to win it, but there was plenty of chopping and changing for the other positions. Some of them just doing a little below what was expected in some events, and then rising to the occasion in others. Always fascination of these multi-event competitions, and I look forward to the decathlon later being of a similar standard. Here they come then, the medalists for the women's heptathlon.
Ladies and gentlemen, the medal ceremony for the heptathlon women.
Les médailles seront remises par Madame Sylvia Barlag, membre du Conseil de l'I2F.
Sylvia Barlag from the Netherlands, IF Council member, long-standing, will make the presentations for the women's heptathlon. Very appropriate choice given the medalists here in the orange of the Netherlands. Is the bronze medalist Anouk Vetter, a national record for the Netherlands of 6,636 points. Excelled in the throwing events. The shot, yes, and in the javelin, a terrific 58 meters 41. that push her up into medal standings. She fulfilled that by running the 800 metres well.
The silver medalist representing Germany.
And the silver medal goes to Caroline Schaefer of Germany. 6,696 points. And as usual, a splendidly consistent all-round performance by the German athlete. And at this event, a favourite did step up to win, unlike some of the other events we've seen today, because the gold medalist, repeating her Olympic triumph, Nafisatou Thiam of Belgium. 6,784 points for the Belgian. Just 22 years of age and one of the new group of superstars in athletics. Medalist in the heptathlon, headed by Thiam.
Ladies and gentlemen, the national anthem of Belgium.
Well, the last medal ceremony of the day goes to the heptathletes, headed by a thrilled Thiam, Schaefer and Vetter. High quality competition, they all got over 6,600 points. As confirmation of that result. Each of them had particular events where they shone. In that javelin, Thiam, a personal best to start the day here with the long jump, and that really sent her on her way. But there really wasn't much doubt, I don't think, who was going to win this event. She only needed to jog around the 800 in the end, and she did that. So those are our heptathlon medalists.
A great night here in the stadium. Tom Walsh winning the shot put. No medal for the favourite Ryan Krauser. Ekaterina Stefanidi, 491 in the pole vault. Thiam celebrating the heptathlon. And Tori Bowie taking the 100-metre title. So on 2 evenings, we've had 2 100-metre finals and 1 bronze for Jamaica. Elaine Thompson, the favourite for gold tonight, out of it in 5th. It has been an evening that highlights the drama and the heartache. Glory for New Zealand, Greece and Belgium and the United States. Well, in case you missed 1 or 2 moments of drama, here's a reminder of how the whole evening panned out. Huge emotion there from Tori Bowie, and that gold medal has put the United States on top. Ethiopia with that 1 gold from Almaz Ayana in the 10,000 meters. And just a note, if you're a New Zealand fan watching this medal table yet to confirm the New Zealand gold that Tom Walsh secured in the shot put. And bronze for Venezuela. Well, they'll certainly be hoping to add to that in the women's triple jump final, which comes up tomorrow. So much more still to look forward to here in London. So the stadium emptying out, and if you have enjoyed the action this evening, well, maybe you'll keep us company tomorrow night. Not just the women's triple jump final, we've got the final of the men's 110 hurdles, and we round off our 4th evening with the 1500 meter final. Genzebe Dibaba, the world record holder, up against Faith Kipyegon, and Great Britain's Laura Muir trying to get the first homegrown medal. Callum Hawkins came close for Great Britain in the marathon, finishing in 4th. So the curtain comes down on another memorable night here in the Olympic Stadium. We were wondering whether it could be anywhere near as good as the athletics that we enjoyed in 2012. The answer is it is. Unpredictable, fascinating. See you tomorrow for more.